All right, guys, let's get this show going.
Oh, I thought that was your fucking intro talking.
Good evening, everyone. The highlights of the news. Traffic accident. Beaver County man being held for murder.
What's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves, and you're a better person for listening to us. All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started. Made to Motivate. Made to Motivate podcast. This is a season 3, episode 11. This is your host, Ryan Weiss, and I am joined, as always, by Jesse Young from Sports Illustrated. How's it going, sir?
It's going fantastic.
That is fantastic. And Chris, the film freak Kessinger.
Just a little bit to the left.
A little bit to the left today?
Yeah.
Hanging a little sideways?
Yeah.
That's good. What's new and exciting? Anything new and exciting with you, Mr. Unk?
I am working from home this week, so that's something.
You guys can both kiss my ass as far as I'm
for this
concerned.
week.
Yeah.
Just for this week. I don't know why, because like there was rumors that we were going to shut down until Christmas break was over and like all this other shit for COVID, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to give you 1 week off." Whatever.
It'll be gone next week.
Yeah. So we'll see. Other than that, killing it in fantasy. And did I say that? Did I talk about like the egg retrieval and stuff last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like 17 eggs and you were trying to boost it up like you did all the hard work.
So,
and everything.
so they implanted those and like waited for like the whole survival thing. So we got 7 that were like good to go that are frozen and ready to go. So if everything goes well, I'm looking at possibly a Halloween baby. October 28th is the due date, but I'm going to have Steph cross her legs and hold them in there.
Jesus.
Well, you know.
Can't you just delay? Like when can you like put it in at the right time to make that happen?
It's all time sensitive. Like as soon as she has her period and it is over, you fucking go.
Oh, so like you have a time stamp on how long you can do it.
Like, well, I don't know if there's a timestamp on when you do it. It's just a matter of this is when her body's ready for it. So if you miss it, we go next week. So they'll basically just be like, as soon as that's there, call us and you're coming in and that's when your appointment is. Like there's no like appointment making. It's just like they know to be ready at this like span of time.
Certain junction in time.
Right.
Of course, you're going to insert some eggs.
It's a whole fucking process, man.
No, never.
Yeah, no, I gotta do the old cup test tomorrow.
Cup test?
For my surgery.
Oh, make sure that it worked?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good times.
Just do like the whole roll the dice and pump it in there, see what happens. That's a good test.
Dude, my friend had it done and he never went back apparently for like the test.
Did he have a kid?
They just rolled with it. I mean, he's got 3, but
after the fact?
No, I mean, he's got 3.
Fuck, I'd be suing somebody.
He's got 3. He's got 3 total right now. But I mean, still, like if you had 3 kids and the whole reason you had the surgery was to not want to have kids again,
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Why would you risk that?
Well, like, what are the odds that would happen though? Don't they like? Isn't it like they burn it, or is it just like a snip snap?
I mean, I figure
snip.
Snippy snap.
I figure if they want you to come back, it's for a reason. I mean, I think they say it's like 99 point.
Or is it like
8%
that?
or
We'll see you
something.
in 6 months for your next checkup that nobody ever goes to.
I don't know. They gave me like 2 cups, full instruction sheet, wait at least 60 days. You got to have so many pumps in between now and then and clean your pipes out and all this stuff. So
is that coming up though? Like I thought you made it sound like that was going to be spring.
No, tomorrow is the 28th was the earliest I could go.
Uh-huh.
So like as of the 28th, I was free to go. It had been my minimum time frame necessary to meet their goal of cleaning out your system.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go in and you get tested. So
Speaking of doctor's appointments and shit, I fucking get these 2 bills in the mail. One was like a month ago and I just kind of ignored it because I thought insurance is going to kick in on this. It's for like $1,000 between the 2. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I find out insurance deductible was not met. It was only met for Steph because all that shit goes under her. So I didn't meet my deductible when I did all that sleep study shit. So I blame you guys because you guys were like, oh, you should probably get that checked out. And now I'm out $1,000. Venmo me. Venmo challenge.
Now it's
Bless
our
me.
fault that we cared about Jesse and we wanted him to get checked out.
That's cool.
Assholes.
That's cool,
Yeah.
man.
Fucking dicks.
That's
so,
cool. Next time I'll stay out of it entirely. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Hope you die. Don't get your brain checked
I
out.
called my insurance today and I'm like, hey, like I met my deductible. So I just wanted to know, like, did they fuck up somehow or what? And she was like, explaining it all to me. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should start paying on that then. And like, she was really nice. So she's like, yeah, like they might let you do like payments or something. And I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, fuck me. It's not like it's Christmas time or anything.
Whatever came of that.
Nothing. I'm healthy. It's
Just have a bad brain.
I just have a bad brain. I can't remember
We
shit.
knew that. We could have really saved him money on
They
that.
said get some vitamin D. It'll help you with COVID.
Jeez.
slide me a number. What's the
What?
like put it on a piece of paper and slide it to me like gangster style.
What the
What-
amount that
how much
the
you owe?
fucking it's like just over $1,000. The one's like 444 and the other one's like 580.
Yeah. Medical bills suck, man.
Should probably get him a McRib or something.
Yeah.
I don't like
I
McRibs.
got him a White Claw.
That's right.
That's something, right?
No, it's cool. They don't fucking accumulate interest on that shit, so I'm gonna let it sit forever.
Yeah. It is what it is. Chris, anything new, fun, exciting? What's going on in the world of the film freak?
So Saturday I woke up. One of the things you got to know about me is like I am spontaneous as can be. Like I am one of the most spontaneous people in the world. If I feel like I get up one day and want to do something, I'm gonna go out and do it.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Yeah.
I woke up on Saturday. I had an urge to go to Oregon on Saturday.
Did you fucking go to Oregon?
Like the state?
Yes.
Okay. You bought tickets?
To go and see the final blockbuster
What?
standing.
Dude, that's dope.
I swear on my mom's life, I was like one punch away from clicking that ticket to buy
To
it.
go Saturday?
Like I was going to leave within an hour and a half of where I was sitting.
With these flight prices, what would that have cost you?
Yeah.
Like $52?
And that was a lot of my motivation because I was like, well, I'm probably not going to spend much. I mean, and I was like, it's Christmas time. I don't want to spend a lot of money. But then I saw the prices and I was like, for a 1-day flight, and then I could be back tonight.
Oh my, yeah, you're going to fly there. Like,
And I was going to come back.
dude, I'm a big traveler, but that's the time lag in that, like to fly
And then
like a 4 or 5 hour flight, visit the blockbuster and come back.
Mhm.
How much was it?
It was $167 was
For
the price.
the whole thing?
Yeah, it was the round trip.
It's nothing.
And that's why I was like, I'm like, fuck, I really want to go.
Is it going to close anytime soon?
No, it's
That
actually
place will stay open forever, probably.
it's doing really well because they sell a lot of merchandise out of their online store.
Yeah.
I've got a couple shirts from there. You've probably seen the one that I bought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to go because I thought it would be like a really cool, this is gonna sound so stupid. I thought it'd be a really cool post for like, you know, just to wake up and people see my first post of the day was like,
I'm in
hey, guess
Oregon.
what? I'm in Oregon.
Hell yeah.
I was just in Ohio yesterday and now I'm in fucking Oregon.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd be totally down to plan a trip to go though.
Yeah.
What else
do
is
it.
like around it? Like, is it just in like a random ass place or is it in like a decent city of Oregon?
It's what's considered their downtown. But like,
Oregon's downtown, the one that they have?
Is it like by Portland?
well, it's an hour outside of Portland.
Okay. 'Cause I think I like
West.
Portland as
Okay.
being the like main.
The people
Oregon.
own
You go to like
Portland right
you
now.
know, like,
Yeah.
oh, that's true. If they had a blockbuster right in Portland, it'd probably be fucking burned to the ground.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but you know, I've always wanted to go to this one, and I just thought it'd be a cool post, like, you know, buy maybe a couple movies or a shirt or something while you're there,
Yeah.
and then just like get back to the airport and head back.
Yeah.
Dude, let's go. I'm down to
Yeah.
go. I've always wanted to go to Portland. Probably not right now,
Mhm.
but I've never been to Oregon.
Yeah.
So
Oregon, it's a beautiful state too.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep.
That
So
would, dude, if you would have just posted that you were in Portland, I would have been like, what the fuck?
What are you doing, Chris?
Like, what the
I
fuck?
swear to God, dude, like it was right there. Like all I had to do was hit a blue button that was on there.
What stopped
Why didn't you do
It
it?
was gone. I just thought to myself, I was like, you know, with everything going on with COVID and everything, I'm like, do I want to fucking risk it? Do I want to get on the plane? Do I want to fucking, you know, all this shit? And I get there, I'm going to have to pay for like an Uber or a rental car
Yeah.
too. So I'm like, that adds
You probably
to
would
it.
have spent like $400 total.
Yeah.
Been dope though.
Yeah. We
Chris,
should do it sometime.
Nobody is flying to Oregon. 1, 2, there's no people in Oregon to contract COVID from.
Right.
That's why they have to use their online store because there's no foot traffic to get anybody to rent a movie from this blockbuster.
I just think it's dope that there's still a blockbuster. It's alive. Like
Yeah.
that would be badass.
Dude, it would be super legit to go and just like see one remaining.
Yeah.
It's probably just like like sparkling in the sunlight.
I always think about that whenever I'm down by the plaza in Canton, because that one whole big plaza with like, I think there's like a Starbucks or some shit in there now. It was all one giant Planet Hollywood.
Oh,
It was just one
God.
long ass Planet Hollywood.
what?
And you can still tell from the front, like they've got like that jagged sign, and it used to be spotlights.
Where at?
It's like when you go down to the that plaza where Tinseltown is.
Yeah, the Strip.
Yeah, the Strip. So at the very front of the Strip, you can see it from the highway.
Mhm.
There's like a long stretch. I think there's like 4 businesses there that it's been divided
Planet
up
Hollywood,
into.
like the restaurant Planet Hollywood.
No,
No, you're thinking
not
Hollywood
Planet Hollywood.
Video.
Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's what it used to be. And all the signs
Oh,
were just
yeah.
spotlights and shit. Yeah, not Planet Hollywood.
Hey, I was like, dude, I forgot about Hollywood videos.
Yeah. That was
Wow.
good stuff right there, man. That's where I got a bulk of my collection, like the first 200 or so.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood Video.
Forgot all about that place. Blockbuster's the goat though. That's like
Yeah.
that was the
Oh,
goat
hell
too,
yeah.
I
for
agree.
sure.
Yeah, Blockbuster, and then like if you're around our area where we live, Roadrunner was a big one too.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of Roadrunner.
Okay, Roadrunner was like the local chain around here.
Around here?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you meant like internet.
I have.
Like I remember the 90s. Roadrunner was big too. It's a fucking movie chain.
Yeah, Roadrunner Video. Yeah, I have this awesome piece of nostalgia, an article on thefilmfreak.com. If you want to go back and look at it, just type in Roadrunner on the search bar.
Filmfreak.com.
It gives my memories of everything from being afraid of this giant freaking ant that was like it was like a statue as soon as you walked in, a huge ant to
Yeah.
recreate the Honey I Shrunk the Kids ant, and my first experiences with porno movies.
Oh,
Nice.
That's why Chris remembers Roadrunner.
Right.
That's why I remember it.
I definitely I do not remember Roadrunner movies.
You could-
Blockbuster. I remember briefly Hollywood, and then
Family Video. Those were the
Family
only 3 for me.
Video. Yeah,
So,
some like little like family owned ones.
How did Family Video outlast Blockbuster? Because that's a national thing, right? That's not an Ohio thing.
Because of their cheap ass movies, probably when they went to that real cheap movie format where they were doing like dollar rentals and crap.
Yeah,
That's got to be what saved them. Did Blockbuster ever go to like a level where they were doing like cheap ass rentals like that?
no. I think honestly, and I didn't even think Hollywood outlasted Blockbuster.
no.
Hollywood-
Hey, Family Video.
Family Video.
Hollywood didn't.
Oh, Family. Yeah. Family did. For Family, it's just I just think them being the last man standing, so to speak, like they kind of bank on that, and they're not doing well as it is.
No.
But like they kind of bank on that whole nostalgia. Hey, like we're still a video store and we're still open. I think that brings in some customers here and there.
They survive off of Marco's Pizza and CBD oil now.
CBD.
That's the suit. That's such a weird thing that they set up. Now they all have they're split with Marcos. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is that all about? Well, not all of them.
I've
There's
never
barely
had
any
Marco's
left.
either.
Message Scott Westberg. I don't know. That's
Is
he's,
that
he's
who,
the
like,
owner
owns
of
it?
Family Video.
How
Yeah.
many are left at this point?
So in our area, we'll do a 25-minute bubble around where we're at right now.
Yeah.
There's 6.
Okay.
That's still pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
With everything going on right now, to have that many, I'd be surprised.
I can tell you who the next one will be though.
That's gonna close.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be the Ellet?
No.
Which one is it?
Well, the other one's closed. You're talking this Springfield. Oh no, you're talking
Springfield?
Goodyear Heights.
Is it the Falls
Is the
Portage
no?
one?
Is the one that's down by
Springfield's closed.
that right by the high school?
Yeah.
Oh, that closed
Yeah,
out.
that closed last.
Oh, damn.
The next one's going to be Medina without question,
Yeah.
because
That
going
doesn't surprise me.
there overpriced like crazy, man. Like,
Don't they all charge the same thing?
no, like I got no deals from this one. I bought a Sandlot copy. It was $8.99. Like that was the only thing I bought there. I'm like, and that's just because I really want the Sandlot on DVD.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
So and then I left. I will never go back to that one again.
That is a question for the film freak that I have.
Okay.
Why DVDs versus Blu-rays at this point?
Just because I don't want to buy them all over again.
Okay.
Now there'll probably be a day where I'll have to start converting because I did that from VHSs.
Yeah.
I still have about 1,000 VHSs
Will
left.
you replace your DVDs with Blu-rays whenever you do that?
Oh, I'll probably have to. I mean,
Like, why not just get Blu-rays for everything new that comes out?
like right now.
Yeah, that's what I do. I've got
Yeah.
like 2 shelves of Blu-rays, and then the rest are all my DVDs.
I guess first I need a player.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Lucky for you, the PlayStation 5 comes in with a built-in 4K Blu-ray player.
oh great.
Dude,
You can play with us.
Wait, isn't the PlayStation 8K?
It's capable of playing 8K, but
Yeah.
there's literally nothing that's 8K yet.
What
I
the
was
fuck
watching,
is 8K.
So I was watching. There's this YouTube channel I follow. Unbox Therapy is what it's called.
Yeah.
And he was just doing a video on the PlayStation 5, and then LG sent him an 8K 70-inch TV.
Yeah.
And it is insane.
What's
I
it
mean, but
look
there's
like?
nothing you like really, like you said, there's nothing you can play on.
No, the problem
there's
is
very minimal products that
there's
make
nothing.
anything that you
There's
can.
no movies have been shot in
Yeah.
8K. No video games are made for 8K yet.
Yeah.
There's, I think, only 2 that are like actually in the works right now, or that are planned to come out that are capable of playing 8K.
Like Avatar 2.
But even then, like, I won't recognize
It'll
that because my
upscale,
TV's
but
not capable of performing at that. You got to pay like, they're like $10,000 for a shitty 8K TV.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like he got it as a like a sponsorship type thing.
Yeah.
Like they gave it to him to do the unboxing, talk about it or whatever. But 'cause, I mean, I wouldn't think he would have bought one of those.
Your own eyes don't even see in 8K. So like
that's what he was saying. Like he was going through some of the Disney Plus like Discovery Channel like animal shows that they've got on there, and he was doing a real close up of it. And he's like, this looks like better than real life.
It looks
because
fake.
It's so like it's like almost fake looking.
Wow.
Because it'll upscale the 4K to make it look as best as it possibly can. Since it's an 8K TV. But
the first time that I saw, I think it was The Hobbit, was released in like 4K 120 frames per second, or maybe it was even 240. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that was like, it almost looks like water. Like it's too fluid and it seems unnatural, and I couldn't watch it. I was like, this is awful. This is terrible.
So strange.
When my dad got his first, like when he built out his like living room at his one house, and he got like one of the nice TVs that were out at the time. And I remember we were watching it in like the full HD, like 4K, and like looking at it and thinking that like it almost looks fake because it's so realistic that it's better than what you see. So it doesn't look like real life.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I remember my friend when he got his first HD flat screen TV, and we were watching, I think it was like Modern Family or something on TV.
Yeah.
Like it looked so fake that you could like tell the sets and all that. Like you could tell like this doesn't look like a real house.
Jeez. Yeah, it's technology is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to start the show at?
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, what did I do last week? I don't fucking know. We just start the show.
Yeah, we just fucking do it.
Let's do Hollywood Report.
Okay.
All right.
Be short.
Report.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! No. Steve! Assemble!
Christopher the Film Freak. What's going on in the world of Hollywood?
Well, some good news coming out of the box office this week. The Croods 2, I should say, A New Age, overperformed 9.7 million Thanksgiving Day weekend. Naturally
overperformed.
Yeah. So naturally, like, obviously it's the holiday weekend. There's always going to be a push more because you have an extra day added into the tally. But considering that it's at 14 million right now after 5 days, they consider it a pretty good success and a sign of possible things to come. If something like the Croods can do well, which wasn't marketed well at all.
What's a budget on something like that? Like, is 14 million good for like an animated movie?
It's not with the Croods. I think the Croods was about $25 million. They will make it back though. I mean, by the time they'll make another $11 million. This is only day 5.
I've never seen either of them, but you said it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Like it stays a lot to the first movie. If you like the first film, you'll like this one. But for me, it was a little funnier, and the definition in art was outstanding. Like the animation was beautiful.
Who was that by?
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
and that's good. That's a positive thing for the box office. I guess you saw that at Kent Cinema.
No, I saw this one at Tinseltown.
Tinseltown.
I had to check this one out on the biggest screen for sure.
Sure.
So besides that, Borat 2 has been declared the second most watched video on demand release in 2020 behind Hamilton.
Doesn't shock me.
It was stupid, dude.
I
don't know. Like, I mean, I know it's like what Borat movies are supposed to do, like be.
It's nice.
Wow,
it was so stupid, man. I struggled watching. Like, I watched it because you guys talked about it and whatever, but fucking Borat, man. Second biggest on-demand stream.
It doesn't surprise me because, like, so when you think about the straight to video on demand movies this year, you got to think as far as the ones that are the most watched are the ones that have the word of mouth. So Borat's a sequel, obviously, based on a movie that was very popular already.
Yeah.
So, and Hamilton is worldwide success.
Still haven't watched
reputation. It's so good.
Oh, that's what you guys said.
It's like 3 hours long, but it is really good. So yeah, I mean, I kind of see it. I understand it. It's just, it shocks me that it happened in such a short time. Borat 2, I don't think it's been out a month yet. And it's already been declared.
Has it not been that long yet?
The second most. I don't think it's been a month yet.
Jeez. And Hamilton's been out for how long?
Oh, July is when I reviewed it.
Yeah, summer, I think.
And I was late. So I think it was June.
I wonder what it was before that, because that's not something like typically if it's like straight to video, you know it's shitty, so nobody watches it.
Yeah.
It's true. But under the circumstances.
But we've had like Mulan and a bunch of other stuff like that. Like I'm sure that this year is like top 5 for all of those video on demands.
Yeah. It's
what else is? I guess that's a good question. Do you know?
I don't off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I couldn't even assume that. I'd have to go back and look at my movies that I've seen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what else this year went to direct on demand. Other than was Aladdin or not Aladdin? Mulan was the big
Aladdin,
other big
Mulan did.
Aladdin was in theaters.
Yeah.
Mulan might be up there. I don't know. It just depends how many people paid that price, you know, the ransom to see it.
It kind of busted a little bit. I would still think it would be up there though, because it's just not like a medium that people would go and watch in the past.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So we had Crudes did well.
Yeah. So it's a good sign of things to come possibly, because, you know, if a movie like that can lure people back in, maybe the bigger, you know, movies, maybe Wonder Woman has a shot, you know, even with this whole release. Unfortunately, King Kong versus Godzilla is now apparently the next one that's being shipped off to Netflix. Netflix paid $200 million for it.
Wow. They are not going to get that back.
Yeah, they're not going to recoup $200 million.
But, and if you know Netflix, like that's the way they've done business since the start. Like they've been in the red every single year that
I want to know how they make their money.
Yeah.
Because there's no advertising. It can't just be subscriptions. Because you're not getting $200 million worth of subscriptions for fucking Godzilla versus King Kong.
It's got to be based on a clicking format, I'm guessing. Like, you know, whatever movie you watch or whatever, they get, I don't know.
Do they get
50 cents,
ad
$5
revenue?
or something?
But where does that money come from, though? Because there's no advertising. It's just their platform. Where's the money being generated from?
Yeah, I don't know.
Their stock is trading at $490 a share.
It's insane.
And that's up. It's up almost $200 over the last 2 years.
Jesus.
So, I mean, they're doing something right.
It's popular. I mean, that's the thing. Like those stock markets, like they rise and fall with popularity, right? Like
it was trading at like $100 a share in 2016.
Wow.
It's 5 times up.
God damn,
man. But you know, I think though, like things like Godzilla versus King Kong, like that word of reputation that these big blockbusters are coming to Netflix, I think that's what's going to help it.
But like to Jesse's point though, like how do you recoup that? Like 250 million, 200 million?
200 million was
so you got to think most people. I mean, even if you got new signups for that, it's $17 a month. People are going to sign up. So it costs them maybe $17 if they sign up just because they want to just watch that movie.
Hey, we're raising your price to $100 a subscription this month,
bro. So you need over 10 million people at the $17 mark,
right,
to recoup that money. There's not that many people that don't have Netflix.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know. I don't
know a single person that does not have Netflix that isn't at least like using their buddy's code. And that's the other thing. Like the three of us could be like, okay, you buy Disney, you buy Hulu, and I'll buy Netflix.
We'll all share,
and that's what we'll do.
Let's put it to a poll.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask the page. Yeah, but that's a good point. I mean, like everyone does, or like they supposedly said that they supposedly said they were going to start cracking down on like shared login somehow, like they were via IP or something like that. Maybe they were going to supposedly try and crack down on people that were like sharing accounts for the money or whatever. But I think there's different tiers, and you get so many logins. You can be logged into so many devices on
3 devices. So we've got our TVs at home, the 2 TVs, if we want to watch something separately. And then my dad uses my Netflix. And then
allegedly
they're fucking parasites, so I don't get anything from them. But, you know, I get to watch the Browns game without a delay.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. But yeah, that is interesting. That's big. I mean, that's
Mhm.
huge for them to buy it though, to pay that much money for it though. I don't know. That seems pretty crazy to me.
It's going to get a lot of clicks for sure. And honestly, I think what Netflix is still trying to do is recoup a lot of the fans that they lost from this summer with a certain other movie that had a lot of controversy surrounding it. But I mean, if you're saying $400, you know, on the stock market, whoops, that it must be doing pretty well.
Yeah, dude, that's why. Yeah, I mean, almost $500.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man.
Well, they keep all of their shit so secretive, because I looked it up one time, like how do they make their money, whatever, and they don't release any information at all.
Something's
You
not
don't know.
stirring.
We don't know what movies actually get watched. Like they put up like that top 10 in America thing every day,
Mhm.
but they could totally just be pushing shit that they want you to watch.
Yeah.
Like all of their Netflix, like that Queen's Gambit that came out.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I
talking
still
about
want
it.
to see it.
have you even
I
watched
have
it?
not watched, and I love her.
It's like a chess movie, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like more about her life, I think. I'm only like halfway through the first episode. But come on, like, is that really the #1 TV show in fucking America? Even Ozark, which is a great show.
So
Mhm.
The
I always-
concept of that movie or that show and the cast and everything, like people wouldn't have naturally latched onto that if it wasn't pushed there.
But you got to remember, like when they say #1 in America, it's not necessarily America is referring to every streaming device and every channel. It's #1 referring to Netflix.
Sure,
So
but
like, is
that's
this
what
the
I'm
best
saying.
show on Netflix? Is basically the question.
But they're just pushing it on there to say, hey, this is the #1 show. So even though nobody's watched it, we go, oh, well, it's the #1 show. I'll check it out. And then they pull their money somehow from that.
Yeah,
so
could
#1
be.
show on Netflix specifically, not #1 show in
Yes.
America.
No.
Yeah.
But then how are those? Is that number accurate? Like, is that how do
Nobody
they?
knows. They don't report
Yeah,
it.
how do they generate what that
The
is?
#1 show in the country is always going to be something on CBS, NBC, or
Sure.
Fox.
It's public TV, or you know,
Right.
everybody has it.
So like Big Bang Theory is always going to have more viewers than Ozark is, no matter what. Even
ER was
though
the big one for so many years.
ER's been on for what?
Never did
fucking
ER.
20 something years.
Yeah.
The Simpsons, like all of those things will always be #1 viewed shows, but that's it. I don't know how Netflix fucking makes
I always thought
money.
the algorithm was weird. Like I always see that, but a lot of times I will go to that section though to find something to watch. If I don't know what I want to watch, I'll be like, oh, this is trending really well right now, so I'll watch it.
My opinion is because Netflix is at the dawn of like the social age and everything going on. My opinion on everything, and I can't prove this, obviously. It's based on, tweets online. It's based on everything connected to that property's name. So like Queen's Gambit, how many people are talking about it? How many people are clicking it? All that.
Yeah.
That's what I have a feeling they base it on. Now it could be like you said, like they've invested so much in this that it's like, we're going to market the shit out of this. And the more people that click it and watch it and all that, the more money we recoup somehow, some way.
Right.
Uh,
I wonder if they just have like so much money from the millions and millions of people paying that $17 that they just literally are stockpiling cash so that when something comes out that they say, hey, this will keep people on Netflix, let's go get King Kong, they can just dish out 200 million like it's nothing.
I feel like the stuff that makes them the money though, or like the legacy shows and stuff, the things that are on there that people are going to watch over and over that they want to sign up to have access to.
Mhm.
It's like for me, like The Office is huge, and that's going away the end of this year.
Yep.
And I watch that show consistently.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's going to another platform, and I'll sign up there to continue to be able to watch it.
Hulu would be smart to sign it. If
Yeah,
they,
like someone's got to be taking that. I imagine their contract's ending, and that's why it's going. Like it's not just disappearing.
Yeah, well, that was the case with Friends too. A lot of people who are fans of that show, like they
Yeah.
were going off when Netflix took that off too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to buy The Office because I mean, like I watched that. The thing is, so with it being on Netflix, I'll turn it on because I do genuinely love the show, but I'll turn it on because it's just so easy to access it
Yeah,
because I can just
right.
turn it on and watch it. Once it's off there, if I owned it,
You're not
I
going to
don't
put the
think
DVD
I'm not gonna turn it on as often as I would.
That's what you said last week about convenience.
The
Yeah.
convenience aspect of it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Like that sucks though, man. I'm bummed about that.
So allegedly, and I don't know about this source, Maz Systems, I don't know, but it's the top related thing on Google. They said as of October 2019, they had 182.8 million paying subscribers that were paying between $9 and $16 a month. That price has gone up since then. I can't imagine if their stock has risen that much that it's not even higher. So,
Jeez.
I mean, 1 month, that 200 million is really nothing compared to all of that. If they're even paying $9, it's a drop in the bucket.
They have a huge revenue stream. I mean, they're making money, but you got to think, I wonder what their what their revenue is versus what they expenditure, because you like, okay, 200 some million for this movie. Plus, I mean, they have a lot of Netflix originals that they're spending money on making these movies and stuff like that. It's got to cost a decent amount of money.
And that can't cost more than buying a big property. I can't imagine, because the budgets aren't huge on these movies. They're not like, no,
you're not paying 200 million to make a Netflix original.
Not spectacles. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like Netflix drops them a lot. Like I feel like there's always a new Netflix show or movie coming out
weekly.
Like they've really stocked up on the amount of stuff that they release that's like their own original content. Now, we asked this before, I think, on the show. I can't remember. When we talked about Netflix originals, did we determine that that's stuff that Amazon actually or Netflix actually makes, or stuff that they just acquire specifically for their show?
It's a mixture of both.
Okay.
So like
we talked about it at one point.
I can't remember which one it was. They had a really big one that they picked up from somebody else and just threw it on there with their name. But even with that though, if you look at like the stuff that they do, like we were saying, like Ozark is done for dirt cheap. You could do that show for a couple $1,000,000.
Dude, it's so good.
If that. But
you
then
said $1 million?
Couple million.
Like, I mean, per episode or for the whole show?
The whole show.
Yeah.
That whole season's nothing.
It's nothing that's too hard to, there's no special effects. There's nothing that's like,
you can make that movie at Portage Lakes.
Yeah,
that show.
But what's his name? The main guy. He's only making that little bit of money to make that
Paul
show.
Bateman.
You think?
Probably at first, I would think.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's too much, because the thing with TV is you'll never make as much doing TV as you do doing film.
Yep.
And it's crazy because you do less work with film too. Like Jason Bateman's been in 30 episodes of that show.
Dude, I don't know what show it is specifically, but I remember reading an article or hearing about one of those big shows like Friends or something like that, where they were making like $1 million an episode.
Yeah, Friends was like that, but that's also the #1 getting show on a public television that is the #1 show for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like Breaking Bad, those guys weren't making that much money to start.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to like that season 3, season 4, and everybody knows it's a spectacle, everybody loves it, they're getting paid. Same thing with Game of Thrones. Those guys weren't making anything at the beginning, but then once that money starts coming in, then those dragons start looking more real, and those guys' bank account starts getting bigger.
That is true.
Yeah. But when you look at movies like that Raising Dion movie that Netflix has, it's about a little like black kid who's raised by a single mom, and he has powers, and she's trying to raise him to be like a good kid.
Oh, yeah.
That was something they acquired because it was like a thing online, and people were like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this movie," and then they finally like got it because of that. But even that, they didn't put that much money into it because the special effects are definitely lacking.
Yeah.
So you're never going to see something that's like Avengers level good from a Netflix original. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to worry about making good content for a really cheap budget with a good story. Yeah. And if it does well, great. And if it doesn't, who cares?
And that's where creativity thrives, in an avenue like that. And I appreciate that. Yeah. I really do, because it gives something like those independent movies an avenue to explore.
Yeah, I really like their originals. A lot of their stuff's really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious to see what format, what place they take on going forward with stuff. Like we already know they're thriving with the digital aspect over theaters, but like, what is that? So like we've talked about theaters dissipating.
Yep.
So if theaters no longer are around for these big movies to have to place the network, and it's got to go direct to something.
Yep.
Are these platforms, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Apple TV, are they all going to have to do like what a theater does and buy all these new movies to platform?
It is, because it's a bidding war. You have to buy that property. That's what Netflix does with all these that aren't original. They have to. It's usually a bidding war between all these streaming devices and a couple other things too. Like there's a couple avenues the studio can explore where they feel like they'll make more on video or release that way than they would ever even on a streaming device.
So even like a Netflix now that had, I mean, you got to think, I'm sure we could look it up, like what's the catalog that Netflix has?
Oh, God.
So they got to, so they're paying some kind of lease or something for every one of those properties for like so many years.
Some it's like $200,000, some it's $200 million, as we just expressed. That's why I said like they're like every year. So their banks, the one thing I have been able to find is that their banks and their books are always in the red. There has never been a year where they've ended in the green.
Yep.
But to that, if that's true, just business wise or finance wise, if this company is always trading in the red, how can your stock be so positive if the business is operating in a negative.
I think
I don't know
it's-
how that works.
I think it's word of mouth, honestly. So we're living in an age right now with this pandemic where everybody is locked inside.
Yeah.
Everybody has, everybody doesn't have the desire to see it in a theater. Not like us. They're not hardcore fans.
right.
Everybody wants to watch something at home that's new, that's fresh, and all that. Who provides that? The straight to streaming devices.
Yeah.
So someone like Netflix, who is the king of all of them, you got your Hulus, you got your Primes, and they're nice, but Netflix is top dog.
Yeah.
We know that. So I think with something like that is where's all of it going to run downhill to? Netflix is right there to greet them with open arms.
Do you think are there any shows or movies or production companies and stuff that pitched their stuff going to Netflix? Like, does shows ever pay to be on a platform?
So that's what I was going to say.
There
I
is
think,
one that I can think of.
Well, go ahead then, because I don't know.
Extraction, that Chris Hemsworth movie that came out back in April, right when this pandemic started out. They were going to go to theaters, and this was before the pandemic ever hit, but they decided, we don't think, renting those theaters out for that price is going to recoup our benefits as much as a streaming device would. They sent it straight to Netflix, and it ended up, I bet you that's a top 5, by the way, to that question.
Yeah.
That got a lot of clicks, and that was word of mouth was huge on that for
That
the first 2
movie
months.
was dope. So are you saying that that's a movie though where they pitched to Netflix they wanted to be on their platform?
Yes.
So they like a split in revenue at that point?
Yes. Yeah, that's probably how it goes. Yeah.
That movie was dope.
Yeah. I enjoyed it had a lot of good action.
Yeah.
Sometimes too much shaky cam, but it was solid.
Yeah.
It was good. What were you gonna say?
Well, and that's the thing, like going forward, we talk about this bidding war and everything, but I think that these platforms are starting to find their niche. And I think that more often than not, Hulu is going to be the thing that's going to become the TV thing, because it's already got like all your major network TV shows on there.
Classics.
And they'll start to produce their own shows, like that woke show that I just watched, which was great. But Netflix and Amazon are going to be the two giant moguls that are going to take on like the movie industry. Because I think Disney will rely on its own content. They have the money, the ability to make amazing content themselves, and they'll just bring in people for that with that monopoly on Star Wars, Marvel, and all that other
They
stuff.
own everything.
But then Amazon and Netflix are going to be the ones that are really putting it up, because Amazon has way more recent great movies.
Yeah.
But then Netflix has just a huge catalog, and I could see you getting more and more of those really good kind of under the radar movies, like a Hereditary, Midsummer type of horror type of thing, where then you're going to get more of like the I don't even know, like the Halloweens or something would end up on Amazon. So you're going to get all of that content fighting over that, but that's the future of Hollywood, I think, is those two organizations right there.
And funny enough, all 3 movies you just listed are all on Amazon right now too.
Are they all on there?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's true. I go to the different platforms for different things, like basically like how you said that. Like Netflix is the legacy stuff. Like you're gonna find all the old shows and everything on there. I spend majority of my time on Netflix. It's very rare that I log into Amazon. I have it, but I do go there typically if I'm looking for like a new movie to watch. But I hate Amazon's platform. It is set up so awful. Like Netflix is so easy to get through and search.
I agree with that.
Amazon is so cluttered with all the other channels and then like what you can pay for. Like they have all the rent to pay stuff mixed in.
Yes.
It's like every third section is a pay.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is the worst platform setup.
Well, then the
Disney
other issue
Plus is beautiful to go through.
Yeah.
Like their setup is very streamlined. It looks nice.
One
Everything
problem I have with
functions
Disney,
smooth.
but yeah.
Netflix is probably the easiest to get through. I hate
the biggest issue for
Amazon's.
me with Amazon is you'll get 3 great movies. I'll go on there and it'll be like, here's Get Out, here's Us, here's Hereditary, here's Midsummer, and then it'll be like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I'm like, okay, that's
that movie's
I like that
fantastic.
movie. It's a classic. And then it's like, here's Halloween 3, and then it goes on, and now you're looking at like fucking random crap shit. Like there's something on there called Velocipaster, which I've requested officially for a review.
You and about 9 other people.
And it's about a fucking pastor who turns into a velociraptor.
Sounds awful.
How am I supposed to review that?
It's a movie that we made for a college course or something that somehow got picked up. And it's like a niche thing like Sharknado that they just hope picked up. But that's like the 7th thing on horror.
It looks so, that sounds awful. Speaking of which, I bet you know what you could find on Amazon is Event Horizon.
Oh yeah.
I saw the trailer, man. It looks like shit.
Just watch
it. It looks so bad.
It's so good.
But you've told me that about other really bad movies.
Oh my. Did you like it?
Dude, I fucking love Event
Okay,
Horizon.
so you can take the film freak's opinion over mine. That is a good movie, bro.
Probably
I
one of
will
my
watch
favorite
it.
space horror movies that I've ever seen.
Yes.
Maybe the best.
It is. Yes, I was gonna say it is the creepiest fucking movie, bro. You have to watch it.
But it's
Watch
like
it
the
late at-
90s. Like, is it?
Dude,
Are you sure it's not
good.
like Ghost Ship, where I'm like, dude, Ghost Ship is
No.
so good, and then you go back and
no,
it's
no,
awful?
No. This is good.
Because I remember loving Ghost
No,
Ship.
Ghost Ship is just
No,
garbage.
bro.
It's so bad.
Please watch it,
Fucking 13 ghosts and shit.
dude. That's the movie I got arrested in. I
What?
told you guys about that. Remember they came looking for me in the theater because I supposedly didn't pay for my ticket.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You got
yeah.
arrested?
That was a 13 Ghosts. Well, they like the
Kicked
cops
you out.
came and like, look, I did pay though.
That was his Regal, right?
Fairlawn. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
your Regal.
Hell yeah.
I went to
fuck
that.
You,
I went to that Giant
You
Eagle.
probably called him.
you
that-
better pay or you get your ass out.
I had tickets. I didn't pay at Giant Eagle apparently though, but they gave me the tickets.
Oh yeah, that was a whole
Somehow
snafu.
they like, yeah, I paid or I like bought the tickets and then somehow they gave me the tickets and I left and I didn't pay for them or something. I don't know. It was a big debacle.
That's
I can't
weird.
believe they actually hunt you down for that. That's so stupid.
Remember I was saying how
Oh.
did they possibly find me? Like,
Dude, when people sneak into theaters, I'm fucking craving, bro. Like you're gone. There was one time where somebody snuck in and I let them go because I tell my students this today: be slick, not slow.
oh yeah,
All right.
we talked about this. I remember.
Dude snuck in through the side door after he bought a ticket and he let
Mhm.
all of his friends in.
Yep.
And I just happened to turn the corner and I was like, that was pretty good. That seems like a way I would sneak in.
That's how I always used to do it at the Fairlawn Regal Cinemas. That the main entrance is there, and then to the right, there was those exit doors.
Yep.
I would go in, buy a ticket, go down that back hall, just kick that like I was going to the bathroom,
Yep.
just kick that door open. They would come in, and we all got into the movies, and then we would watch 2 or 3.
Real
So-
quick before we move on to the next thing, besides that, what's one movie you remember that you snuck into?
Oh gosh,
First movie I ever snuck into was Pokemon, the first movie. And we did that.
Pokemon.
We bought one ticket. I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, why would you sneak into
No,
Pokemon?
we-
snuck into a movie at 7 or 8.
Yeah,
Because
because
he started young.
my
It is pretty
cousins
young.
lived like a block behind the Independence Theater. So we walked through the woods and then you could hear, like, we listened through the exit doors to see which one it was. And then they went in, got a ticket, and
Dude.
let us in.
Dude, that's gangster.
Yeah, it was dope.
I can't remember. I mean, it's been so long ago since I snuck into a movie, but it was pretty frequent in the middle school, like early high school days. I
Yeah.
was like, screw it, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying for a movie. I had to pay for gas for a car and car insurance.
I think
and
that's
shit.
the only movie I ever snuck into because I wasn't like a movie guy until I got the job there.
Yeah. I
That's
used to
interesting.
Yeah.
That was like the thing to do. Like when I was in like middle school, high school, we went to the movies all the time.
Yeah.
I was like,
Not me.
it was a fun place to go and hang out without your parents. It was something to do like at night. I don't know. Like movies was the go-to. Did you ever sneak in?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one movie that I was going to point to in particular in March of 1997.
Jeez.
My friends and I, every weekend we went to the movies that month,
Yeah.
and we knew every time we went to the movies that for every weekend that we were going to go see a double header because we knew the second movie we weren't going to pay for.
Yeah.
We snuck in every weekend to go see Howard Stern's Private Parts.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
The movie where we
dude.
saw some of our first tits ever on screen before.
movie was so stupid.
Dude, we went in there. We loved every freaking minute of it. And we were the
Yeah.
only ones in there. Nobody went to go see that movie.
Jeez.
Good lord. One of my favorite movies, like as a teenager kid, that I was like, oh man, I'm gonna see some boobs, was Barbed Wire.
Oh, yeah, Pam.
Did you ever see that? You never saw Barbed Wire?
Oh man.
The rain
Bro,
scene.
the
dude.
rain's coming down on her. Man, that was the Baywatch chick. I'm like, she's in this movie in this leather outfit, like
She
stripper
looked
pole.
good. That was the prime.
You guys are
Bro.
too old, man. I had porn. Like my
had
boob movies
porn.
were Titanic and fucking Fast Times. And
Bro,
other than that, it was like,
yeah.
all right, I got the internet.
I'm talking like
Fast
young,
times.
like middle school kid. Like
yeah,
that
me
was,
too.
You didn't like weren't pumped up to see boobs on like in a movie or on
Yeah,
TV.
bro, I was watching fucking crazy shit
Oh,
at that point.
I'll give you 1 point. I would trade Pam Anderson for Phoebe Cates of Fast Times any day. I had a huge
Yeah.
freaking crush on
That's
Phoebe
still
Cates.
one of the hottest scenes in movies,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Dude,
That's such a good movie, man.
I'm seeing her on the big screen tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
What are you seeing?
My buddy rented out the screen for like our Christmas gift for each other.
Yeah.
3 of us are going to see Gremlins.
Bro,
Nice.
we were just watching that LaBelle's tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go check that out.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, other things going on. Super Mario Land, I don't know if you guys heard about this, is
Japan,
being
right?
built, at Universal. And this is interesting because it includes a 4.5 mile go-kart track
I've seen this.
for
Yeah.
Super Mario Go-Kart. You could literally be in the game, complete with, they got the sets that look very similar to it and everything. This is
Okay, so here's my question though.
Mhm.
Do they have like digital weapons where I'll spin if they fucking hit me and shit? Because that would be sick.
I'm not sure how that goes. Yeah, I know like there are some objects on the course and all that. I did see that, but I didn't hear anything about throwing anything at anybody or anything like that.
It would be cool if you had like a screen or something.
Well, that's my thing.
And
like,
you could like
you obviously can't
virtually
be
do
throwing
it.
shit at people,
No.
but like you could like hit a button, shoot it at them, see it, and then your cart just starts
Oh,
spinning.
man.
that'd be so dope.
That would be sick.
Yeah, I
Video
heard
games,
about
man.
this.
It's coming real life.
They're doing it in Japan, but then they're also opening up the one in Orlando here
Yeah.
soon too. That's going to be their like third park that they're adding.
And based on the property that they're saying that they're purchasing for it, like it's gonna be pretty big, man.
It's going to be a park in its own. Like it's going to have different lands, but it'll be all like Nintendo themed, and it'll have like a Mario World and whatever. So,
You guys big Mario fans though?
oh,
Yeah.
I'm a Nintendo fan. I'm not a huge Mario fan.
Okay.
Like I really like Yoshi. Yoshi's always my go-to character for everything except for
Go-Kart.
Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I love Super Smash, but like as far as Nintendo goes, I don't know. I didn't play a lot of Nintendo. Like I was like a GoldenEye Super Smash person, but I never played any of the individual games really.
Mario is one of my all-time favorite game series of all time.
The series as a whole.
Mario in general, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, those were my two favorites. Once it got to N64 and like they changed the formatting from the like side reel, which was like my favorite
Side
setup,
scroller. Yeah.
side scroller setup. Super Mario 2 is probably the best Mario game ever.
Wow.
2 and 3.
Three is
2
my
and 3 are
favorite.
good. Huge Mario fan. I'm in that park the second it opens. Like, sign me up, man.
Yeah, it looks like very fantastical, great escapism too. And if anybody knows how to do it right, it's Universal.
Yep, it's gonna be dope. I mean, them and Disney both.
Yeah.
Mario Brothers is your favorite movie, right? Super Mario Brothers?
Jesus Christ! Even Bob Hoskins didn't like that movie, and he was Mario.
It's great.
Oh my
That
God!
movie
I
is
love the
awful.
freaking
You do not
Goombas.
love that movie.
Dude, I do.
No, you fucking
I
don't.
do.
That's
No,
not-
you don't.
So forget movie. That's not a good Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes,
No.
it
Like that's
is.
not. There's nothing about
You know,
that.
like John Leguizamo.
Yoshi's like an actual fucking dinosaur and shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I
no.
spoke with John Leguizamo personally when he did stand up in Cleveland a few years back about that movie.
And he hated it.
Oh my God! He was like, "Hey, we made a lot of money." I was like, "Yeah, I bet."
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It was like one of the first or like big name video games to have a movie.
And it set the trend for shitty video game movies.
I didn't hate it. I really didn't.
Have you watched it since you were a child?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh
that
my
booger that comes down from the
It's
ceiling.
awful.
I'm like, ugh,
I didn't hate it.
what the fuck is going on?
Jeez.
Monkeys.
That movie is shit.
Moving on to my last piece here. The Grammy nominations got announced last week. I was going to talk about this on the last episode, but you guys had a killer conversation, so I didn't want to bring it up. There's a couple of snubs here that are, worth some talking. The big artists are getting snubbed, like The Weeknd, Taylor Swift
Wow.
out of Album of the Year. I'm sorry, Drake is not nominated at all. Harry
Good.
Styles is out to one nomination. He's got one nomination throughout everything. And Kanye is nominated, but in the best gospel category.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That album's not that good.
You know how many people are going to be pissed that are like truly gospel and should be in that?
Oh,
And
man.
fuck, I mean, we talked about this though. Like, what is he going to be?
This is my one biggest, because I'm a Kanye person from the beginning. I got every song on I love Kanye.
Jesus, I'm so much better than you.
That album is not good. That album's got like 3 really good songs, and the rest of it is like meh. But I know so many fucking people from like my church and like from my churchy past and everything who are all about Kanye now because it's just the thing to do. But he's definitely going to win that shit. Like, there are people who legitimately think that he is putting out gospel music now.
Who else?
I know it's
who
a
else
farce.
is going to compete against him though? Like, really going to compete?
One more
against him?
year, he's going to be back to doing his crazy stuff, and I can't wait for it because I love Kanye when he's not doing gospel. But like, he'll win that.
The big snub for me is The Weeknd, without question, because first of all, that album is one of the best of the year.
That surprises me.
And two, Blinding Lights was like the quintessential song of the summer.
Yeah,
Like, it was everywhere, dude.
Bro, that was like one of the hugest TikTok hits. Was that Blinding Lights?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was super good. He didn't get anything.
nothing.
Yeah, I just bought that album on vinyl like That's surprising.
Yeah, he won the VMA. I know the VMAs don't matter, but he won the VMA for best video of the year. He won best dance video, all that stuff, but not nominated for a Grammy at all.
That seems
Crazy.
like a slap in the face.
So
Drake
who is
has been-
nominated? Like who are the big nominations?
The big nominations, I actually didn't check too much on that, but I was just more blown away by the snubs. If you give me a minute, I'll
like,
check
is there
them
any
out.
like Billie Eilish or anything like that? She didn't put out a new
Yeah.
album, did she?
Well, did Drake put out anything new? Like for him to
Drake
not
put
get
something out every fucking week. I'm done with Drake.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Drake.
I can't think of like anything that he put out that I could see him getting nominated for.
Drake has so much money and his music has not been good in
Yeah.
like 8 years.
Lady Gaga's the big nominee.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I
Uh,
like Lady Gaga.
What is she getting it for?
Album of the year, single of the year with that one with
Bradley Cooper.
no,
No, that was last.
who's
that was
the
like
other
2 years
girl?
ago.
Ariana Grande.
Her
that
and
song-
Lady Gaga had a song?
that was like the song of the year.
Oh, I don't listen to the radio, so I'm not like hip with any music anymore.
Me either.
My girl Dua Lipa's nominated for a few.
Who's that?
She's the one that sings like levitating, and if you heard her songs, you would know. But if I gave you the title, you would have no clue.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa. Is she attractive?
Oh my god!
Sounds
dude.
like she would be attractive.
Bruh.
Every woman that sings is attractive.
Dua
If you're
Lipa's
not attractive, you're not
especially
allowed to
sexy, though.
sing.
Dude, get you a look at Dua Lipa. and you'll
Who's
see.
winning best act or best album? That's a woman that is not attractive in the last 20 years.
Oh, who's winning?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, winning. They mostly. I thought you
Exactly.
were saying just any woman that
No.
sings, though.
Anybody that gets any money or credit for singing has to be
course.
attractive.
I don't
It
find
goes
Lady
with
Gaga
it.
attractive, so I mean,
She's
No,
had her
but she
moments.
has the look though where other people might. I don't think she's attractive either,
My
but I
brother
could
loves
see
her.
I could see a bunch of people being like, "Oh yeah, she's so hot."
Yeah, there's definitely times like where I've seen pictures of her. I'm like, okay, she's attractive. Not when she's rocking her meat suit,
yeah.
but there's been some other times where she's like dressed up like pretty formal. And I'm
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
but like Ariana Grande,
Yeah,
okay. I mean,
that's
that's
legs. Oof.
bro. Yeah, she's fine.
Taylor Swift's too skinny for me, but I get that that's like a thing for people.
Her personality cuts me out, dude. That's what it is. Like, she's a good-looking girl, but like honestly, her personality is just
See, that doesn't do anything for me for celebrities. I don't care. Kanye's personality, terrible. Love his music, love him.
that's a good point.
Like it doesn't matter. I'm not marrying her.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just want to look at her.
Right. You don't need personality for me to look at you.
I just thought it was interesting.
When are they on? What is it? Oscars, Grammys? What'd you say?
the Grammys? Yeah,
is it- when is that?
February. It's like February 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wonder what that looks like.
with
Have we had any award shows during COVID?
yeah, we've had like the VMAs. We had
Did they have people?
No, they didn't have an audience. It was
Yeah.
basically all pre-taped because it was like a bunch of pre-taped performances.
I want to say, how do you accept your award? It was all virtual.
Yeah, so it
I
worked
don't
for
remember.
it worked for certain things. Oh god, I can't remember that pop star who I like. She's really sexy too.
Of course. To
but-
Jesse's point.
But I can't. Yeah, but like she had that song of the summer that
Lizzo?
"Say So." Whoever
Wow,
whoever sang that song, "Say So." But yeah, she did a performance that was really out of this world, and it's great because you can plan for that kind of thing. It's like you're basically filming a movie.
Yeah.
But like nothing's live, so it doesn't have any unpredictability factor to it.
What's your favorite Grammys moment?
Grammys?
Grammys.
Bro, you know me. I'm not super hip to the
Slim
award
Shady
shows
wasn't
and stuff.
Grammys, right?
No, I'd be
that
more
was
keen to say
MTV or
VMAs.
something.
Yeah, I could tell you my favorite VMA. My favorite Grammy moment's boring.
Oh, mine's not.
It's the one with so like Dave Grohl, one of the members of the Clash. There's a couple of people up there, like Bruce Springsteen's up there, and they all sing "London Calling"
Yeah.
for one of the other former members of the Clash that passed away. Then I thought that was really cool. I like those collaborations.
I've got two. The one, I'm not sure if it was Grammys or not. I'm pretty sure it was whenever Elton John sang for Eminem's Stand performance.
Oh yeah.
That was really
That
good.
is Grammys, by the
dope.
way. Yeah.
And then my second one was when the year after Kanye did the whole Taylor Swift incident, he went totally isolated for a year. Nobody heard from him at all. And then he shows up at the Grammys, all white background, white piano and everything in a red suit and just starts doing the
VMA.
the run. What, that was VMAs?
That's VMAs, yeah.
I could have swore that was Grammys.
VMAs.
Well, fuck. I guess
Yeah.
it's Elton John and Eminem then.
So that's why I said, like, if you want to debate VMA, like, dude, it's gonna take me a minute to probably
If
think
it's
of.
VMAs, then it's definitely the Slim Shadys.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nothing can beat that for me. But I think that was MTV.
I even like it wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, the same thing.
Yeah,
VMAs.
Yeah.
Eminem's had a few moments. Like he had the one where he picked a fight with Moby in the audience. He had the one where, God, I mean, he's had so many moments. Like the Slim Shady one that was outside was pretty cool, where they're all on the side of him.
Hundreds of fucking That was great.
Yeah, when they were all dressed up in the same outfit and everything came out. That was super dope.
The Britney and Madonna moment, and then they show Justin's face right afterwards when they kiss. I'm like, damn, man,
That was a good one.
You're gonna close up on this dude's face, man. That is so bullshit.
I remember when Britney Spears did the performance in the like skin colored bodysuit.
Yes.
Britney was the first one, man. That was where
Hit Me Baby.
that was when you were a kid and you felt that tingle for the first time. You were like, what the fuck is this? It was Britney. It's Britney, bitch.
You were a little young for that, bro.
Hey, man. Them fuckers,
I mean, I know how old I was.
They dropped when I was 6 because of her.
This dude was super young, like fucking in kindergarten. He's like, teacher, I feel tingly.
Dude. Woo. Goddamn, Britney.
Jesse,
made a man out of me.
Jesse, can you come wash the dishes? Mom, I don't think that's a good idea right now.
Dude, and now she's a fucking mess. She's a train wreck.
Yeah.
They denied her they denied her claim or fight to get her father removed from being her like custodian or whatever, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Custodian?
How awful. He like manages her whole life.
Yeah.
He's like the custodian of her
Records.
Contracts, everything she does, who she
Is that the right word though?
Yeah, custodian of records is actually the professional term. They use something else in tabloids.
I thought you meant he was like
her
fucking mopping her floors and shit.
No,
I guess you could say her guardian, but
guardian.
like,
yeah,
okay. He doesn't have custody over her. Like she's her own woman.
Never heard that term before.
But he just manages like
all of her finances and everything.
Her as a career person, everything that she does.
Yeah.
And like I can't imagine being a grown ass woman and like
why would she not be able to remove him? It's all of her shit.
They said that I don't know, something like she's not.
It's a power of attorney. He can't. He has to have. So basically, it has to be him signing off on it because he's the one that's in print right now.
Yeah.
So
awful.
That's not going to happen.
It's wild.
Anything else from the Hollywood report?
That's it, sir.
Hollywood report. Good stuff. Let's do a quick. Let's get social. And then we will finish up with some sports.
It is July 20th, 1969, and man is about to land on the moon.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's the way the news goes.
Yeah, that one is good. And the White Claws are really good when you mix them with like some kind of corresponding beverage. So like I do that with like fruit punch or like Hawaiian punch.
Ooh.
Or put the lemon lime in with some
coconut
Sprite or Sierra Mist.
Thought you're gonna mix it all up.
Coconut. Let's get social. We don't have much. Nothing new and exciting is really happening in the world. Nothing new with COVID.
COVID's like just the same as it's always been, and Trump is gone, and it's just like, okay, there's no fucking news.
Yeah. Well, Trump said that he would finally concede if Biden wins the popular vote, but isn't he winning the popular electoral college?
Sign off on it. Yeah. If they sign off on it, which is already good as done, like it's a week away.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure you've already lost everything, bro.
And that's the whole thing is like technically the electoral college could vote their own way, but if they do that, you're going to be like, I mean, I know out where my AR is, so I don't know about everybody else, but
the funny thing is his campaign and his stupid donators donated $2.3 million for a Wisconsin recount, and it brought out that Biden won by more votes than they originally thought.
All that money's going into his fucking pockets too. Like it doesn't cost that much money to fucking recount a vote. Like he's just lining his pockets before he goes. They're gonna arrest him.
His biggest concern, I think, at this point is now he's no longer going to be president, which means that he's no longer protected as president from, any sort of lawsuits or anything against him. So, I mean, I'm sure he's just trying to delay it.
And there are people lining up, bringing lawsuits. He's got dozens of them right now just sitting in wait.
He'd be smart to just quit tomorrow and then let Pence pardon him.
He's a flight risk, man.
Can he leave office early?
Yes.
Oh, he can?
Yeah, on his own. The president can leave whenever they want. They can just say, I've had enough of this shit, and they can leave.
President can just quit?
Yep.
The thing is, though, is he is too much of an ego to ever do that. Like, he will not concede. He even though he says he'll concede if the electoral college comes up, he'll say that the fucking guys have rigged the vote. He's never going to say it's legitimate.
Are you saying during any given point in the presidency at all, he could just say, I'm done?
It's like any other job. You can walk down and be like, I'm done.
After he takes the inauguration, the president can go on the next day and go, I don't feel this all of a sudden. I'm out. Bye. Like that's it.
I never knew that. Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, they can't force you to act as the president, but I mean, I figure you're in some sort of contractual contractual agreement.
Nobody's
or something,
nobody's going to, because as a politician, that's what you work your whole ass off for. Like you work your career to be the president.
But then again, he was just on a whim. So I honestly didn't know if he was going to make it that whole 4 years once he realized what the fuck he was getting into. But then he turned it into a
It was
shit
an
show.
ego trip at that point. He was like, I'm the president, and something he'll go down in history as being. But yeah, so he said he would concede if the Electoral College says he officially is lost, which I thought it's already basically happened.
They just have to sign it over.
Yep.
It's as good as done.
COVID vaccine still in the works. There's talks of some places trying to vote to make it required for everyone to.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either.
So are you talking about the pay them to take it thing that I read?
No, I saw that they're trying to figure out making it a mandated vaccine that everyone is required to take across the board.
I just don't know how you do that. Like
they'd have to implement something with like an employer-based thing where like, I don't know, to be eligible for work, you have to submit that you've taken a test or something. I don't know how they make that work either, but that's
a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
There's so much shit involved with like just that, like work and everything else. Like if we can't even enforce rules for keeping your masks on and shit and give actual repercussions for that, they're not going to get that shit passed. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a slippery slope because, you're talking about forcing something that, look, scientists prove it or not, it's unproven right now. The first wave has not even come out yet. So you haven't even had the guinea pigs like myself who are going to have to take it. If something happens, an allergic reaction or something goes down, you're to blame for it.
Yeah, say if you force someone to take it and that's opened up some doors for lawsuits easily. Like if my employer came out and said, you're required to take this in order to come to work.
Yeah.
And then something awful happened to me as a side effect from it, I'm fucking suing
everyone,
everyone, bro.
I
I'm suing
would
my
too.
employer. I'm suing the fucking company that fucking administered the drug. Like,
Right.
I'm going sue happy if you're enforcing it. Now, I'm not saying I'm anti-vaccine. We've talked about this. I'm just not super pumped about being one of the first ones.
Right.
I still think it's been a very small test pool in the people that they've tested. So
My mom talked to me about it the other day because, I was telling her Ohio's slated to get it on the 15th of December.
Really?
And then we could be as late as like the next week after, like by the 22nd, something like that.
So you
For you to get it?
I have to get it. Yeah, I'm literally forced to get it.
So you might have it. You're going to have it taken in this year at some point
In 3 weeks, probably. Yeah.
So my question is like, we have all these vaccines for things like smallpox and hepatitis and all this shit you have to get as you're like a kid. But then you have issues where like measles has been like a big thing that's been like coming back because people are not getting their kids vaccinated. And if I'm vaccinated, I can still catch measles from you. And it's like kind of like everybody has to do it in order for it to work type of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about this vaccine, but like if you get that, let's say nothing bad happens and it's totally what they said it would be and you're given it. If you come into contact and me and Ryan both have it, are you still going to get sick? Is it one of those things where everybody needs to get it like measles, or are you immune?
And funny enough, I've had to explain this to my sister, who is a nurse for the Air Force. Okay. She didn't understand it fully when she read it the first time, but I grasped everything that they said. So when I get the vaccine, that doesn't take me away from wearing masks and stuff like that. I still have to wear the mask because even as somebody who has the vaccine, all that does is keep me from getting sick. I won't get sick with a vaccine, but I can still be a carrier for it.
Gotcha.
So I can be a carrier and pass it off to you or to Ryan, and that we're still not out of the woods yet. They said until we get herd immunity at 70%, like 70% of the population taking this vaccine, it's always going to be around.
So you're saying that like you could be a carrier, you just won't ever have symptoms once you have the.
I won't ever get sick from it. Yeah. I could test positive for it. But
what are they saying the success rate is on that?
94 is the highest one between Moderna and
Pfizer.
Yes, there's another one too.
Pfizer's 90% from what I saw. And
like 90%, like the people that take it are not getting sick.
Did you say 98?
90.
Oh, okay. Because 94 was the highest I heard.
Yeah.
I knew Moderna, and there's a weird sounding one that was at 94 too. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, we're supposed to be getting the Moderna one because the other one, the weird sounding one, you have to freeze at negative 700 degrees.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
that raises a big problem for a lot of businesses who don't have those kind of freezers.
Yep.
And can't get access to dry ice, and dry ice doesn't go at that cold anyway.
Yeah, so that's crazy to think about. I wonder what the time frame is on it. Like, how long does that protect you for? Like the flu vaccine, and the flu's always changing. That's a yearly thing. You've got to take it every single year.
Mhm.
I wonder how quickly this is going to adapt or evolve. That like, okay, you take that here in December.
Mhm.
How long until you would have to take it again to be safe?
So the rumor is right now, and it's all speculation because obviously this hasn't been out and amongst a big group of people. It's only been tested on 30,000 people with their third trial. So the Moderna one, they are saying right now is that it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 6 to 8 months, and then you're going to need another shot. The Pfizer one, I think you need 2 shots within 3 months. And then they said the Johnson & Johnson one that is still in trial 2, they're looking for that one to be like, that's the long-term one. Like, that's why they're still working hard at this, because that's going to be the one that, you know, you get it and you're not going to have to get it again, at least for another year.
So do most vaccines have multiple companies that make the same thing?
Yes,
is there
because
a reason for that?
It's all a bunch of companies competing to get rich is all it is, basically. So one of these companies, whoever wins this lottery, which it's looking like Moderna right now, is going to be responsible for basically saving the world.
And they're going to be billionaires because of this.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering, what are they going to charge for the vaccine? Like, what's that going to cost, and who's going to have to pay for it? Like, is it going to be an insurance covered thing? Or are you going to be individually responsible for it and company paid?
Ours. I can only speak for ours. It's through insurance, and they said it's free through insurance. They showed us the numbers though, and that it would be probably $41 otherwise if you didn't. It would take you $41 for that shot.
My biggest thing is it's like there's all this speculation about pre-existing conditions and all this other stuff. Like, if you do contract COVID, is that going to be a pre-existing condition going towards your insurance moving forward? Because we don't know the full effects of everything. Like, at this point, we've only seen a slim amount of people who have had this for 6 months.
Mhm.
It's really started to catch its stride, 3 months ago, where a large amount of people have started to contract it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going to happen in a year. We started seeing all that inflamed organs, inflamed body, basically, and the strokes and all that
It's
other
mutating.
shit. Like,
It's a disease, or it's a virus that's constantly mutating, just like the flu.
It stays dormant in your system and kicks back up on people. Like, some people are taking months to get like smell and taste back.
Yeah.
Like, my uncle and a couple of my friends all got it in the last couple of weeks. Luckily, I haven't been around any of them, but like, when I heard that you can't taste or smell, like, I thought it was like when you get a really bad cold or like the flu. It's like
stuffy.
you literally cannot taste anything. Like,
That's
my
what Matt
uncle,
said.
my uncle doesn't drink at all, like at all. He took a shot of whiskey and said that it was cool, like water. He couldn't, if you would have given him a blind taste test of water, whiskey, like 151, you would have never known the difference.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, if you go back, for the people listening, if you go back and you haven't already listened to the episode where we had Matt Life on, and he had COVID and he came on and talked about it, and he said that he said things tasted different, certain things he couldn't taste,
even still
things. And yeah, now, and he had it in September, and he said even still now, what we're in December pretty much, he still has it. He said things that he used to like, he doesn't like the way they taste anymore. Like, his whole palate has completely changed at this point. And we're talking 2 months in, and he's still having issues. He said he has like motor skill type issues and stuff from it. I have another buddy that got it, and he actually asked if he could reach out to Matt and talk about it, because he had a lot of concerns about some of the like prolonged symptoms, some probably more of like the physical motor skill type stuff. And it's a scary thing. Like, that's so weird to me. I mean, still, like, listening to his story, the whole like taste and smell thing, it's just so weird.
Yeah,
it's weird. But what you brought up another thing though, when you were saying the pre-existing condition, and that's like a whole nother can of worms, insurance-based stuff that I hate. Like,
insurance will do everything they can to not pay out.
Yes.
So if they go, well, you had COVID, so we don't know if this heart problem is because of that or if it's really just heart disease, so go fuck yourself.
Which is such a bullshit thing with insurance. And that's like with anything, not even just health insurance. Like, insurance companies will find any way to not pay you, whether it's car insurance or home insurance. When I had all that camera stuff stolen, they refused to pay. They said that you're using it as a business thing, and you don't have this special type of thing on there, so you're not going to be covered.
And that was like $3,000 of like stuff.
10
right?
grand.
It's crazy.
10 grand. And they found a loophole to not have to pay out.
Sucks,
I'm like, I'm
because I
paying
only sold it for
you.
like 6.
Yeah, well, you got a good deal on it. So like they'll find ways to not want to pay you though. And the pre-existing condition thing on health insurance just seems bogus. Like, everyone, is going to be sick or something at some point in time. Like you shouldn't just not be able to cover someone.
I still think it's impressive that, like, I mean, we don't know our bodies. Like, you know, I remember, I think it was you that had said, we were talking about it back in like March, and you said, I got sick sometime
January. I was like deathly ill.
Yeah. So it's like
awful.
I'm like maybe Jesse did have it at one point, you know, and he got over it. He built the antibodies to defeat it, and that's why he hasn't gotten it since.
Yep.
I think like there kind of is going to have to be, even with a vaccine, there's going to be that time where we all have to come in contact with it.
Yeah.
Even if I have the vaccine in 3 weeks and I run into it somewhere in January, you know, and I get it, I don't get sick from it, but my body develops enough antibodies to get over it. And that's the ultimate cure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was a point in time I was the same thing, January or December, where I was just sick for like a month, like just awful headache, cough, sore throat would not go away. And I'm like 99% sure I probably had COVID. Like it fell within the realm of the symptoms. I don't ever get sick, especially for that long a period of time. Like this shit would just not go away. Runny nose, mucus. I mean, literally a month or longer. Like it was awful.
You guys had it at the same time, basically?
It was February because it was right before we went on our trip to Orlando.
Yep.
I got better for like a week and then we left. So it was late February whenever I had it. And then we had the first cases in Ohio whenever we got back.
Yep.
So, but yeah, like I don't miss work. Like whenever I'm sick, if I don't have a fever, I'm taking my ass in there. I'm going to trudge through it. Like I might miss a day, but I've never missed 2 days straight of work before. Right. And I missed the entire week of work that week.
I remember that. I remember we were sitting over there. It was when the couch was on that side, and you had taken off like maybe one episode because you didn't feel good. Yeah. And then you came in and you still kind of felt like crap. And then I remember feeling like shit. And I'm the same way as you. I have sick time that carries over every year to year because I don't like to miss work. I feel guilty about missing work.
Me too.
I've never missed more than 1 day in a row for sick time, like for being sick, other than like a vacation or something, or like if it was like my surgery. Otherwise, if I call off sick, that means I feel like complete shit.
That's all approved
I'm
stuff.
off that day, and then I'm in the next day. Like I'm not missing multiple days of work.
Yeah.
I just rarely get sick, which is why I believe that I had COVID or something earlier this year.
So like what would you guys say was like the lead, just because of the length of time you were sick, you were saying that's why COVID? Like you don't think maybe you had pneumonia or something like that?
No, based on the cough, the dry throat, the snot, the runny nose, just feeling exhausted.
Oh,
like I felt a lot of the symptoms. Like I just felt physically tired.
Yeah.
It was a cough nonstop. Like, I mean, I'm talking like hacking cough. And like when I get sick, I don't feel good for a day or two. I'll sleep it off and I'll be fine. This was forever. And I remember even everybody at my work being like, bro, like you can go to the doctor because you've been sick forever.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I had something like that, like a strep or something. I don't go to the doctor though. And this was before we knew COVID was a big deal. So I didn't think COVID, but now that it's evolved and we know the symptoms, I was like, I think I might have had it.
See, so that's my theory. I'm like, how is it like that in 11 months now that like none of the three of us have come down with it? Like knock on wood, I'm sorry to put that out there, but like, you know, how is it possible? Like maybe you guys have had it and you know, and I'm just the weak link here or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd know it anyway. I don't really, I get sick usually once a year and it's usually like 24 hours. I'm in hell.
Yep.
After that, I sleep it off. I get up the next day and I'm great.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing is, it's just like the people that I'm around are pretty with it as terms of like masks and everything. Like we distance each other. We know where each other are. Like if we're out in public somewhere, we're going to mask up. Same thing with the people that I work with at my work. Kids and stuff, not so much, but I'm pretty good about telling them before I go to them, like, hey, pull that mask up before I come over there and talk to you. Like,
but how do you know where they've been though?
And when
they're not at school.
And you don't. Yeah. But my kids, if I was in a traditional school, I think I would have definitely had it. But my kids, like, people talk about how they run the streets and go all over the place and stuff. But like, my kids are so poor. They typically just go home. And that's where they're at all the time. So they don't really go anywhere. They're not at restaurants. They can barely afford to go to places like McDonald's. Like they're not out and about. So I think that that's a big contributing thing to it. But like I went to Walmart today because we just needed to get some stuff. And I had to pick up my nephew's gift for Christmas. So that's why I chose to go there. Otherwise I would never go there, especially right now.
Yeah.
But like, even in there, like it's so packed. And I was so like, it used to be like a second thought, like I'll throw my mask on. I might even forget to put my mask on until I get to the door and go, oh shit, have to go back and get it. But the entire time I was in there, I'm like watching people like, okay, who doesn't have their mask up to their nose? Like, I don't want this shit. I saw 5 people walking towards me. I'm like dipping down like the fucking women's bra section to avoid them. Like, it's just, I'm like super aware.
Them in the little bra section.
Yeah, whatever. I like the pictures.
I like the pictures.
But I'm like super aware everywhere that I'm at now. Like the second that you just said Fiddlesticks doesn't require people to wear masks, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, you just got to distance
like we better
yourself,
be in that back corner away from everybody because I'm not fucking with them. Like,
and that's kind of my thing as tournament director, not to go off topic here, but it's just one of those things that it's like, so if I don't feel like it's safe enough, I'm not going to go through with it.
Like, I'm going to be going in there, like duck down, hands over my eyes, like run back to the corner, and then I'm good.
Yeah. It's not super, it's like never super busy there, and you distance for the most part. It is really weird that are you allowed to not require it? Like, I feel like aren't masks required?
If we wanted to call and complain, they would shut them down.
I think their problem is just, they're going to lose so many people that if they do, and I talked to Pauline, who's a manager there this past weekend, and she said like, they're only running at about 60% full right now.
Yeah.
Like all of their tables, like they're never selling out any night except maybe Friday night when it's like 10 o'clock, but even then they've had to recently shut down at 10.
I guess my question is just, what is the mask rule right now? I thought are they just not following the rule, or is it not regulated?
Not following the rule.
I don't think they're following it. Yeah.
You have to have masks in your place of business as of right now.
Okay.
And if they're not enforcing it, if somebody were to snitch, like, it's all bad. If they got investigated, they'd be shut down.
We're talking about the Fiddlestick that's in Toledo, Ohio. They're not mandating masks there.
Jesse drives a far away from his school in Barberton.
That's right.
So
I already snitched on the fucking prison and nothing happened to them. So I can't imagine they're going to make it down to Fiddlesticks.
Jeez.
Fuckers messed up my CCW, by the way.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. I get my CCW after 6 months of waiting, and I get a little letter that says, make sure that it says that your expiration is 5 years, and if not, call the place. So I look at it, and it says fucking 2502. Like, how the
that's a McLovin.
You one fucking job.
They didn't put any of the dash marks in there.
There's no slashes.
The date's fucking wrong. And you know what the saddest part is that they already sent out a letter letting you know that if the date's wrong, let us know.
Yes.
How often is this happening?
Apparently a
that
lot.
You have to have a letter already included to say, oh, if we fucked up, let us know.
Like, I knew that they were idiots for not wearing their masks when I went in there.
For someone to carry a firearm, and you can't get the fucking date right.
So
I
think I'm carrying legally. I'm not renewing it for 500 years though. They can suck my dick.
Wow, suck my dick.
I think you'll be safe on
That's
that.
That's my fantasy football name.
I know.
Okay.
I don't understand. That seems like a big deal. And like, obviously the printing format, like the printer maybe had a heart attack or a stroke or something.
It was some fucking fat fuck idiot that's sitting in there going, I don't care. Hit the button. The thoughts and comments do reflect Made to Motivate.
It's been a while since we had one anyway.
Fuck them, man. I went in there. They got a room smaller than the one that we're in. There's 2 people in
downtown
there.
Akron.
I went to the prison. Yeah,
that's where I went.
That's where you got to go for Summit County.
Nice. That guy hooked me up with.
Oh man, fuck that. There's some fucking fat dude and a deputy sitting in the room. All they have is the little plastic thing up in the front of the goddamn desk, and they don't have masks on. They take my picture and they give me my shit. I go over to the lady who's got 3 people inside of a glass hut of fucking file kingdom, and they don't have a fucking mask on. And then they have the shitty hand sanitizer that's like real goopy and disgusting. It makes your hands sticky.
KY jelly stuff.
Yes, it's fucking awful. The only person that actually had a mask on was the one officer who, she was actually pretty fine. She was from that Lil Wayne song, man.
Hey.
But she's sitting at the front desk and she's got it down to her nose, but at least it's kind of on.
She had her wiener out? That's
What?
a whole nother story.
She didn't have a wiener.
That's what they call that. When you don't have
Oh,
your nose, they say
is it?
you got your wiener exposed.
She had her wiener exposed.
She had a nice wiener.
I don't know how that
And,
originated, but that's what people always say.
But then there was like a little like sanitation thing at the entrance of that. So I went to go and push it down. It's fucking empty. It was like 9 a.m. You don't bill that overnight. So I called. I snitched. Fuck them. That's their job. They're snitches.
Bro,
I don't think I enjoy anybody cussing more than Jesse.
wait, you snitched on him for what?
None of them had their masks on. Fuck them. I'm shutting the prison down.
They know it was you.
That's why the prisons have such high fucking COVID rates, because they're fucking idiots.
We're all fucked. I gotta get mine redone, bro.
I don't give a shit.
Should've
Fuck
waited.
them. They're not going to print it correctly anyways. I'm surprised that my face isn't the wrong fucking person.
You can aim for 700 years.
Jesus. No, I can't get anything now because Jesse's gonna get the whole fucking place shut down.
They're not going to get shut down. Nobody goes in and checks the fucking cops.
Damn, man.
Maybe that hot cop will come after him.
Heyo. Oh God, we went down a whole nother fucking path. I don't even know what we were
Let's
talking
get
about at
social.
this point.
Sorry.
Yeah. So COVID. We were talking about COVID shit.
Fuck COVID.
Oh, so I have another question.
I have another answer.
So there's the 10 o'clock rule.
Yeah.
Is that only pertain to bars and restaurants?
So yeah, I figured this out. Apparently it's not like you can be out driving around at 10 o'clock.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but for business places, what businesses does that cover?
All of them, I
yeah,
think.
from what I know, it's all of them.
So does that mean movie theaters have to adjust
Yeah,
times?
there's no movies that are airing. I think the latest showings are 8:30.
What time did we go to Freaky? I feel like we were out
7.
late.
We went at 6:45.
Oh, okay.
Was our showing. It's just the darkness, dude. You think that
Yeah.
it's like 10 o'clock.
So they have to
outside.
adjust that they don't have anything that ends past 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So what's like 7:30, like the last showing probably?
like 8:30. You'll get for like a 90-minute feature. Yeah, you're in and out the door. Like
Dude,
that
I didn't
drive-in.
think about that.
It's fucking hard to make this movie theater schedule as is.
And then you gotta
to
make
do
sure
that
that-
shit. Like that would be awful.
Think about like
Damn.
3-hour movies too. Like, you got one of those like where you're getting 2 screenings a day. That's pretty much it.
Well, and then you have the fucking production companies, like they pay good money to they tell you ahead of time, like you have to make this 5 showings during, the week.
Oh yeah.
So if you get something like The Croods, which
Yeah.
is supposed to do really well, they're going to go in and say, hey, you've got to show this 4 times a day and you got to figure out a way to make that go by 10 o'clock. Fuck that.
All right, 7:30 a.m. showing. Here we go.
That is literally a 9-hour shift just by itself.
They
It
still
is the
have
worst thing to do.
I wonder if they've made any adjustments to that. I wonder if they've been able to negotiate any adjustments to that because you can't. Like some of these theaters, like I was telling you the one day, I was looking at trying to go see a movie and there was no showings until like 4:30. That was like the first movie of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you at? Regal? Was that?
I was looking at probably Tinseltown. That's where it's the only theater I go to is Tinseltown. And it was like a random day. I was off work. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to go to a movie and no showings until like 4:30 or so.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck? So
And that was for every movie. It wasn't just for the one movie.
no, there was just no showings at all.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. It's one of those things like, I know that's what Regal did right before they closed again. Like they opened their doors at like 3:00 in the afternoon
Yeah.
and they were only open for like 5 or 6 hours.
So like if you have a thing like what Jesse's saying though, like the Croods, I mean, that means you got to be, if you have to get 4 showings in a day, that means you've got to dedicate 2 theaters to playing that just so you can get it in.
That's the only
If you're
way.
a small theater, I mean, you're getting fucked.
Yeah. If you're Kent Cinemas, good luck.
Fuck, man, that's crazy. Another thing that we had, or Jesse brought up, was this monolith, this
Yeah.
fucking Fifth Element podium.
Yeah.
That's what? So Romania and Utah was the original.
Mhm.
Somewhere in the desert in Utah,
Mhm.
they were doing a flyover. They're doing a helicopter flyover for something.
Yeah. I thought it was a tour.
Yeah, maybe a tour or something. And somebody spotted this thing down in the like just on the mountain or whatever, and they went
Mhm.
back and looked at it. And steel post, like I mean,
Thin.
yeah, just like in the ground. They said it didn't look like the ground was disturbed or anything like that. It was just implanted in the ground, and they are trying to figure out like what it is or whatever. And then there was another one that came up that is in Romania,
Yeah.
and this one doesn't look to be. It looks similar,
I don't know this one.
but I don't know if
You
it's
guys-
the same. So my little brother sent me the article right before we started the show.
Mhm.
It's slightly different. There's a little
It's like
circle
swirl.
pattern.
It's like
swirl
they tried
patterns.
to like buff it out. Like I'm wondering if someone tried to copycat, and like this is just like
Yeah.
another like.
Romania is my homeland.
Is that where you're from?
It is.
So you know anything about this Romania one?
No, they're known for like vampires and shit, not for fucking aliens. So I think it's fake.
So I want to know what this like. What is this thing though? Like an art installation? Is it something like what the fuck? I don't know.
The answer is probably really stupid too. Like whatever it is, like we always let our minds and our curiosity get the best of us.
Yeah.
It's probably, it was,
It's fucking Banksy.
it could
Right.
be, it was put there like decades ago, probably, I don't fucking know. Like
That's what I was
somebody
wondering,
was
like,
building
how
something.
long-
They ran out of money or something. And they just abandoned it. I don't know.
The one went missing. I don't know if you guys said that or not because I was peeing. But
The Utah one?
the Utah one went missing. They have no idea where it went.
Oh, it's gone?
It's gone. The only thing that was left behind was a stack of rocks, kind of like that whole feng shui type of thing. And on the top was a metal triangle that seemed to be the same type of like material, but it was like perched on top.
You were saying, Chris?
And everything else is gone. So I don't fucking know.
Bro, that's a little weird. And like it was so perfectly in the ground, like
Illuminati.
Well, and the thing that's weird about it being missing and the fact that it even showed up was they said that they weren't going to release the location of it because they were so worried. It was so far out there.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't want to have to spend resources to save people who need
And are
rescue
trying to go
because
and
it's
get to
so
it.
far away.
Yeah, because they saw it from like a helicopter.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they
Like,
were out
it's-
walking or
It's
something.
fucking out there.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the size of it, what'd they say? I think they said it was like
10 feet.
Yeah, 10 feet tall. It sounds big. It's not that big from a helicopter, though.
There's
Like-
two guys standing on each other's shoulders. There's a photo of them, like the two guys that found it, and the one standing on the other shoulders, and they're up on top. And I think it's slightly taller than them.
So you got to think, even if this was installed by somebody, they themselves had to have somehow transported it up there
Yeah.
via like helicopter or something and installed this thing. Like they weren't remotely like walking to it or driving to it.
Like, I wonder how much it weighs.
Well, that's the other thing. We don't know what it's made of. They never released that. We don't know if it's steel or if it's like, we don't fucking know. They never said.
Yeah. Just a big 10-foot
Is
tall
it
cookie
some-
sheet.
Yeah, is it some weird ass material that they don't know? Like that's what I was waiting for. Like it's an
Bro.
unknown element that's only found on Uranus. Like
Yeah.
It's some kind of space metal or something, man. Like
Yeah.
this is some kind of weird alien.
What
I
if-
don't know, bro?
what if we make it
Adamantium.
all the way through 2020 and right when the year's about to go, just fucking vaporize us like
Jesus.
Independence Day?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of dope. Like living through it, like it'd be scary at the time, but
Bro, that's like one of my worst fears is like watching those movies like End of the World or
Yeah.
like like a nuclear holocaust or something, and like just knowing you're gonna die
That
by a
wouldn't
fucking
be
mushroom
cool.
cloud that's gonna wipe me away. Like that is like the worst thing
The-
ever.
The worst movie that does that is, and I put this on my top 10 scariest movies list, is called a movie called The Day After, which was a made-for-TV movie that I actually own on DVD. And it's based on like during the Cold War of the 80s when like we were going back and forth with Russia and all
Yeah.
that. And this is what happens if Russia actually set one off. So like people know that they set one off and they're just anticipating it for an hour,
Yeah.
and that panic sets in, and that is the worst thing to see on people's
That's
faces.
what I'm saying, man. Could you just imagine like just sitting there waiting for that mushroom cloud just to come in and just
well, and that's like
evaporate?
yeah.
like
Fuck
Hawaii
that.
last year. Like I didn't get the update about that until after we knew it was a false alarm. But there were people in Hawaii
Oh,
who heard
yeah.
about that were like jumping into the sewers, like doing all this crazy shit to try to survive.
God, that was last year. That feels like 3
No, it
years
was a
ago.
couple years ago. I don't think it was
Okay.
last year. But like that's something you should be suing over. Like, what the fuck do you
Yeah.
mean you false alarmed? Like
That shit's sketchy as fuck, bro. Somebody hit the wrong button or something.
That's inducing panic.
100%. 100%. Like if I'm in a fucking shit-filled sewer because of your call, you
Yeah.
better be paying me some money.
Dude, you want to hear something crazy now that we're talking about that and like false alarms and stuff? We were watching Hunt for Red October, or no, a Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
We're watching. Have you ever seen that? Bro, yeah.
I want to say that I have, but I'm not 100% sure.
Movie.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Bro.
I have to go back and see it.
Go back
It
and
sounds
watch
very
that.
familiar.
What was it? What are we watching on that?
If I did, I saw it once.
I can't remember what platform we
Underwater
watched it on,
submarine
but,
movie.
Dude, incredible. So as we were watching that, and they have like the nuke codes and stuff so they can set off the
Sure.
alarm. And my little brother had brought up, did you guys know that at one point when Clinton was president, he lost his nuclear launch codes for a month and he never told anybody?
No.
Yeah. He lost them. And then back then, now it's like they change them more often, probably because of fucking Clinton.
Yeah.
But back then they used to change them every like 30 days.
Yeah.
And they were coming to like check his codes. They
Retrieve
take your
them.
current one and then they swap them out. And they kept like delaying, like, oh, he's gone or he's unavailable. Whatever.
Yeah.
He fucking lost them and they never found them. They never retrieved
Dude,
them.
could you imagine the panic that for those 30 days that went on? Oh my
Well,
God.
there was another time during the Cold War where Russia got a false alarm, and I don't remember what it actually was, but they believed that we had fired off a nuke, and they were ready, like they were telling them like ready up to return fire.
Yeah.
And at the last second, like it was a general or somebody that was like, no, we need to just wait and see, like whatever. And then they realized it was a false alarm, but they were like fucking minutes away from launching a new
Sounds like Crimson Tide.
See, and that's at the age of no communication. I'm talking like no intel in terms of all the advancements we have today.
Yep.
That's scary as shit, man. That would have been the perfect storm at the perfect time.
Yep.
That's so crazy, man. Watch Crimson Tide. It's similar premise to that.
I've heard of it before because
Bro.
as soon as you said sub, I'm like, okay, I know what you're talking
Well,
about.
there's Hunt for Red October, which also is a really
Seen
good
that.
submarine movie.
Mhm.
Crimson Tide, though, bro, it's an epic movie.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
And then
I forgot how good it was.
You can't stop Judgment Day. Terminator 3 taught us that, even though it was a shitty movie.
yeah, Terminator 3 and then 4 and then 5 and the upcoming
11 and
6.
Universal Studios had the right idea to get rid of the ride because the fucking movies just needs to be done. They stop fucking making them, but
You're going to use my grandkid.
Jesus. Other thing I had for Let's Get Social, and it's more just kind of a question, is
Yeah, I'll go out with you.
I had posted on my Facebook the other day about customer service and stuff like that, and like the customer not being always right. And all
Oh
that.
God, here we
So
go.
no, I've got a question for you guys around that. Like this time of year, obviously, retail is at like its peak.
Yeah.
This is when most retailers are shopped and they're going to make all their money and stuff.
Mhm.
And the post wasn't specific to any certain situation, but just a general thing as being someone that works customer facing. So I posed the question to you guys is what your opinion is on when are you in the right as an employer to not treat someone poorly, but as a worker to let a customer know that they can't treat you that way, or sometimes that's going to escalate. You could lose your cool because they're treating you poorly.
Yeah.
When as an employer should you be protected from possible repercussions because you're being treated so bad, and maybe you say you can't treat me that way, like you got to leave, whatever, that sort of thing? And to what extent does a company need to go to bend over backwards to make things right for the client because it's their reputation on the line? Like it's a hard line to mix with. You don't want to hurt your reputation as a business, because the rule of thumb they always say is like people tell 10 people when they have a bad experience and then tell one when they have a good experience. And nowadays with social media, I mean, you can go online and blast. So I was at this company and I was shopping here and I had this horrible experience with Jesse and he was awful to me while I was checking out or whatever. And that blows up. And now people know where you work and they come and they know, like, what do we do in that aspect? And I know neither of you are customer facing, but I'm sure you work retail at some point. Like, what's your take on that?
Well, I was actually going to pass the question to Jesse because he's had one, more managerial experience than me, and two, he's had more customer face-to-face jobs than I have.
Yeah.
Like I've built the second half of my working career thriving to try to stay away from people the best that I can. So I will leave it to him.
Yeah. So whenever I was not a manager, there was never a point like that.
Yeah.
You just got to take it because that's the job that you have and you don't have the power to do any of that shit and you're just going to get busted.
You never told someone that was treated like in your face, fuck, like you never said you can't talk to me that way or anything?
No,
That's a hell of a
I
manager.
had good managers
I did.
that backed me up a lot of the time, so I didn't need to, but there was never a time when I was an employee. When I was a manager, if it was my fault, I would take it and I would apologize and I would do
Absolutely.
everything that I could to make it better. I would give you a free ticket. I'd give you a refund. I would do everything that I was physically able to do.
Yeah.
But if it is not my fault, there were times where I almost came to blows with people.
Yeah.
We had a movie one time called Obama's America.
Oh my God. Oh,
And
Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have no
Obama's
idea what
America
this is.
was a movie basically about how shitty Obama was. And it's like,
in the theater?
yeah. And it was one of those, we get like special films that come in. I can't remember what the program is called, but they do like operas and they do fights and they do all different types of stuff.
Yeah.
And
Fathom.
so Fathom events, that's what it was.
oh.
And it brings out like the crowd you would expect it to bring out. Before Trump was Trump, they were,
Yeah.
the Trumpers. We just thought they were crazy then. Now it's kind of normal.
Now they got
But,
Trump card this year.
Right. So they came in, and this was right whenever we had just transitioned, maybe within a year of transitioning to all digital films. So there's no projectionist, there's no person up there running anything. It's all just automized. And for whatever reason, something went wrong with the code. I did not build these movies at this point. I hadn't learned that skill yet, but something went wrong where the lights came on, 10 minutes left, and the sound cut off. 10 minutes of the movie. And I've got about 40, 50 people coming out, all just raging,
Yikes.
talking about how we're trying to keep the message from being shared. We're part of this deep state. The projectionist needs to be fired. They're in cahoots with like whatever. Like these people are fucking insane.
Barack, is that you in the booth?
And at this point, it's me and this other manager. His name was Adam. We called him Kanabi. That was his last name. And we're just standing there with 50 fucking angry people. And I mean, they were, it was like a dangerous situation. It wasn't just like your typical bitching.
Yeah.
And these people are getting real close to us. And like, I'm explaining to, I'm like, look, dude, I'm like, all of this stuff is automated. It was a code error. We can give you a free ticket. Like, there's nothing more we can do. And he's like, no, your guys are trying to stop the fucking message, like getting all whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And Kanabi goes, you need to back the fuck up because there is no fucking projectionist. Now you can get out of here because you're not getting shit now. Like he's going at, dude gets in his face. And at this point, I'm like, we're going to fucking fight these people. Like, this is what's going to happen. And I don't remember what de-escalated it because it's one of those moments where you just like blacked out.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember how we got out of it. I don't know if somebody spoke up and was like, hey, just take the ticket and get the fuck out of here or what. But that was a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
There was one other time where I had this was when I was an employee. This is probably the one time I said something when I wasn't a manager and I was cleaning. I was on cleaning duty that day, just sweeping up stuff. And I don't remember what the movie was, but it was late at night, last movie of the night. And this girl comes walking out and she's like, hey, have a good night. And I'm like, yeah, you too, have a good night. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I do my stuff. And out of nowhere, they come back in, her and her boyfriend.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, hey, did you guys lose something? Like, I didn't find any wallets or anything like that. And he's like, nah, he's like, I was just wondering like what you said to my girl. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Cause like, I legitimately didn't like, she's not even cute. You know what I mean? Like I didn't say shit.
Did you tell him
And
that?
so-
I hope that was the
No.
excuse.
But I was
saying nothing. She ain't cute.
I was genuinely confused because I thought like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I'm like, no, what do you mean? I didn't say anything. He's like, well, like I just saw you say something to my girl. And I'm like, yeah, I told her to have a good night. That's my fucking job.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, man, like I'm just curious, like what you said to her. I'm like, I told her to have a good night. Like, if you want, is there a problem? Like, do we have an issue? And because he wasn't fucking big. If he was big, I'd have been like fucking shitting myself because I don't fucking fight. But like, and he just kind of like stared at me and I stared at him. I'm like, do we have fucking problem?
Yeah.
Because it's just us in the theater at this point. And he was like, nah, I guess it's fine. And he like left, but it was the weirdest, one of the top 5 weirdest fucking things I've ever had because and she's like sitting there, she's like, baby, I told you, like, I didn't say anything. Like, so she must have cheated on him like a week before or
that's
something.
an insecure guy. Big
Yeah,
time.
but like, what did she say on the way out? Because he didn't say anything right then. It wasn't until after they were outside. So he had to have, I don't know. That's fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, it was not a.
That's super weird.
It was a weird. Yeah, I don't know what that one was about.
What was yours? You said you because
Oh no, I just am to the point where like, I'm probably in the wrong and I'm probably the minority, but I don't take shit from people. Like, I don't think that as a customer you have the right or any reason to treat a complete stranger like shit just because you're the customer. Like, I just don't believe in that. I think to be respected, you also commands respect. Like, you need to give it to get it. And if you're going to completely treat someone like complete shit over something that's completely out of their control, just because you're a piece of shit, like, I don't think that anyone has the right to do that. And I don't think as an employee that you're paid to take that.
But to go back to your question, you asked Jesse, like, when is the limit on that? Like,
I don't know.
So what is that
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that because for me, like, I'm sure as a corporation, most corporations probably don't think that there is a limit. Like, it shouldn't happen.
No.
But I guess it kind of depends on managers and like, so for me as a manager, to Jesse's point, I step in and and my team knows, like, I don't want them individually dealing with it because I don't want the complaint or report to come back about them.
Sure.
I want them to step aside and say, hey, you know, it doesn't look like I can help you. And I try and keep an open ear and listen for those sort of things and just insert myself if I know something's going to escalate. And I will just straight up say, like, look, you can't treat them that way. I'm sorry. Like, if you're going to continue to talk the way, you're going to need to leave. And sometimes it'll go into a back and forth. And at that point, you just say, look, can't help you. Like, I'm going to ask you to leave. But I think that we have, for the longest time, we've trained consumers that they're always in the right and we're going to bend over backwards for them.
That's the issue.
And
People take advantage.
I don't know where that comes from. That's like the whole,
well, the customer is always right is the mentality that
bullshit.
people have, and that's not true.
yeah, that the whole concept of that seems so bogus to me. Like, I don't know how to apply that in an example, but it just seems silly to me that we would put that out to people to think that they can treat someone however they want. And because you're the consumer, like, we need you so badly that we're going to let you treat us as bad as you want.
Yeah.
And we're going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And that just seems such bullshit to me.
The problem is just like any outdated policy, there's people who are going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So any semblance of power that they have, that they're given, they're going to use it to their fullest example. It's what's called a Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
And you know, that is where that kind of thing, you know, it distorts reality. So they feel like they can go in, well, if I'm right, no matter what, I can go in there, I can throw a drink in their face. I can, you know,
Bro, you throw a drink in my face, I'm throwing hands with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't,
My limit
I need my job, but we're fighting.
it ain't that important.
I think the limit is once you start to get personal, like, as soon as you start cussing me out or saying something personal, like you fat fucker,
That's
you
my thing.
bald fucking, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when you're done. We had a guy come in one time who total Napoleon complex. He was this tiny little dude. You could tell he was probably bullied in high school.
Yeah.
He legitimately was a lawyer, and he had just won a case against our theater because we were replacing seats, and a person came in, went to the back row. There were no seats where there used to be. And despite him not being able to see it, he sat down, hurt his hip, and they won that lawsuit.
He told me about that.
I want to say I've heard this too.
He told us about this on one episode a long time ago.
Yeah. So this dude comes in. He had the wrong time for Superman because he thought he was going to see Superman 3D, but he was there for the regular time. And he's just pitching a fucking fit. He made my box office cashier cry. This girl who's like 17.
See, I'm not down
And
with
at that point,
Wow.
I'm pissed. Because don't fucking do that. Like, these are kids. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off. So he comes up and he's about to make my concessionist cry whenever I step in. And I'm like, well, is there anything that I can help you with? Or are you just complaining because there's nothing that can be done? And that's when he pulls the, I'm a lawyer and I'll make sure that Jesse Young doesn't have a fucking job, and like pulls that whole shit. And I'm like, well, you're welcome to complain. Here's the card. You need to buy your stuff and leave, or you need to, you know, take a refund.
Shit or get off
and
the pot.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so he goes into his theater, and I look at my concessionist and I'm like, by the end of the night, that man will fucking apologize to you.
Yeah.
And I went upstairs and I pulled the times from Regal.com, Google, Yahoo Movies. I pull every single fucking time. I highlight them. I fucking staple them together, and they were the last movie of the night. And of course, that dude and his buddy are the last ones out. And he walks out, and I go, sir, I just wanted to let you know that here at Regal, we take your complaints seriously. And I just wanted to point out, because you know how petty I am. Like, I didn't yell at him or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just wanted to let you know that, you know, these are the times. This is from our website. This is from Google. This is from Yahoo Movies. And I just start handing him stacks of papers. And this fucking dude looks at me and he goes, what was your name again? I go, Jesse Young, and here's a complaint card if you need it.
Yep.
And he fucking left. And that dude came back a week later and he fucking apologized. Yep.
Dude, that's my thing. That's one of my favorites, is because as manager, I try and get involved, and then that's always the next thing. Well, I'm gonna what's your name? I'm like, here's my business card. You want me to write down my boss's name? This is her name. This is her phone number. This is corporate. This is the branch. I'm like, because people think that's like a threat.
Yeah, like you're gonna cower
and
down.
I'm like, my employer respects me enough in the position that I'm in and the authority level that they've given me that you're gonna call and complain because you were like, if you truly tell them the story of what happened, they're gonna tell you the same thing I told you.
Right.
Because I don't have any. It's not like any superiority complex or anything. Like, I'm only going to tell my team to follow the policies that we're required to follow and do the job to the extent we're allowed to do. And if you're upset with me because we can't do that, I understand. You can be upset, but if you go and you complain to corporate about it, they're going to tell you the exact same thing. And it happens all the time because we have a thing. Even though they're going to complain, like, we're required that if a customer leaves upset, unresolved, we are required to file it.
Yeah.
And then someone from the company calls them or tries to contact them and ask their story. And then they'll always send us the response and be like, yeah, we told them what you told them, basically, you know, or like the customer never answered their phone or whatever like that.
Well,
but I don't I don't have an issue telling a customer, like, you can't treat my employees that way. You're not going to talk to me that way. I had a lady once tell me that I had little man syndrome. And I was like, well, you're also like 7 foot tall. I'm like, you're a Goliath.
Did you say that?
I wanted to, like, in my head, I wanted you so bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm small to you. She was like 7 foot 300. I'm like, yeah, you're huge. Anybody's small to you.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, people they think that your boss is going to be like, well, you did this, you're fired.
Yeah. Right.
But your boss knows you on a personal level. They're not going to take the word of some person when you deal with this bullshit every day.
Right.
Even teaching and stuff. Like, I got called into my principal's office a couple of years ago, and I had no idea why. I'd kicked this kid out, and the kid fucking told the principal that I called him the N-word.
Wow.
And he goes, hey, you know, I got to cover this with you.
Yep.
I have a feeling that you didn't do it, but I got to ask you.
Absolutely.
Did you call this kid the N-word? And I was like, what?
See, that's
like,
scary.
I'm
that's
like,
offensive though. At that point, like, to be told that you supposedly said that.
And he was super cool about it. Like, he was like, I figured. He goes, I just, you know, sometimes people lose their cool. I trusted you would tell me the truth. Like, we didn't even look into it. Like, he just let it kind of go. But like, he had to ask me, you know?
Yeah.
And I went back down to that classroom, and there's like 5 kids in there, and most of them like me except for this kid, which he only doesn't like me because he acts like an ass, and I kick him out. And I go, so you're just going to lie on me and say that I called you the M-word?
Right.
And like the other 4 kids turn around and they're like, what? He ain't fucking do that shit. We're going to beat your ass. Like, because they're loyal, you know? And that dude, he got so
Jesse's
fucking
a part
quiet.
of the clique.
I did not have a single problem with him the rest of the year.
Yeah,
I was like, you do that again, I go, we're going to have real problems.
Ass.
Trey didn't show up the next day to school.
Yeah,
right.
He didn't
one
say
thing.
a word.
Yeah.
He was just looking down like, fuck, I fucked up. I didn't think you'd say anything.
That thing's one thing. That's like one of those things. Don't accuse me of, even as like just as like retaliation,
Right.
because that's about my character.
That's a life
and like
ruiner.
that's not something I would, you know, like, I ain't gonna say that. Don't be out telling people I said that shit, because that's fucked. Like you said, Chris, that's fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
bro.
pissed. That was like my 3rd year. And as soon as I called him out, though, like all those kids just fucking flipped on him. Like, I was surprised they didn't beat his ass right there.
What scares me about that is if you get like a bunch of them, like if 5 of them get together and say, let's tell on him, and, you know, we'll say he said this and all that. And if there's 5 of us, how are they going to combat us?
Yeah. And that's one of those things where, like, so to Jesse's point, like your manager or your boss or whatever, they know you on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the same point where, like, if there's a corporate complaint or something, my boss is required to at least ask me about it. Hey, this came up to corporate. What happened? You know, they have to do their due diligence. They know what you deal with on a personal day, and they know customer situations. And I always am one where, like, I'll tell on myself. Like, I don't care. Like, if
they'll respect that more.
Yeah. If something like that happens, I will call, text, or email my boss and be like, look, we had a client in. They were super upset. I pretty much kicked them out. Yeah. I just want to let you know in case it comes down, so you're aware of the story and what happened. This is what happened. And unless it's a consistency thing, like if it was like every day they're getting it, multiple different customers, okay, now we know there's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But in the time I've been with the company I'm with for 9 years, I've probably had to have that one-on-one, like, hey, what happened in the situation conversation 4 or 5 times in 9 years. I mean, you're going to have customers are going to be upset all the time over stupid stuff, man.
And you're not going to get fired when you finally lose. Like, there are points and times where you lose it. I got in a screaming match with a woman at a theater with my general manager there.
Yeah.
And she pulled me to the side. I said, Ashley, I swear to fucking God, if you give those people tickets, I'm going to leave. I'm going to be fucking done. And she ended up giving them the tickets, and I didn't fucking leave because I was pissed at that moment. And I came down, but she told me, she was like, maybe next time just call me. And I'm like, no, because she doesn't fucking, like, I was pissed.
See, and that's the thing that sets that tone, though. And I know she's trying to do the thing to retain the business and
she just wants them out.
That's the thing.
And that's the thing is, like, most people I feel like are like, let's just get them out of here because I don't want to deal with it. But I'm like, I've never been the person that gets worn down by that stuff. It's about the principle for me.
Me too.
If you allow shit to happen, it will continue to happen. And I was not going to give those people
you
what they
cannot
wanted.
reward people for bad behavior.
Same thing with students.
Like kids. You can't, now that you've given them that, now you set that tone that they know if they act up and cause a scene, they're going to get what they want. And that's where I have a problem. I'm not going to do that.
You can't bring it back. Like, if a student does not have at the beginning of the year, any new teacher that comes in, I always tell them, start off as the hard ass. They're not going to like you, but they will respect you. And then you can build your relationships from there. Because if you're not somebody that's able to hold that ground and set the tone early because you're nervous, it's not going to work for you, and they will eat you alive.
Yep. It's true, man. They know at that point, now that person knows. They come back and they cause an issue. Oh, we're going to get free tickets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just it wears on you. This time of year is the worst. People are just awful this time of year. You're dealing with more people. So it's just rough, but it's just one of those things. I just feel bad. I was thinking when I posted that, I was just thinking like, we're going into Black Friday, all the stuff that people in retail are going to have to deal with.
Yep.
I'm thankful that like I work customer facing, but I'm not a cashier,
right?
I'm not where
You're not dealing with
thousands of people coming in buying, looking for stuff for Black Friday deals, and you're out, and now they're all upset with you, and I'm just like, man, people are just awful, and I can never rationalize how people are that like so blatantly rude to complete strangers. I'm like, how do you treat someone like that? Like just willingly over like the most petty stuff. And I'm like, do you ever think about that and be like after the fact, like, God, I was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like if I went to McDonald's and they were like out of Coke or like their ice cream machine's always broken.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like tell that cashier, well, you shouldn't fucking work here. Your machine don't like,
right.
What the fuck, man?
I've always found that like, so if there's ever a time I have problem with like a customer service or like a product that, I felt like I didn't get fully or something like that. Regal's a good example because about 2 years ago, Al Gore had a film come out that was Inconvenient Truth 2.
Yeah.
It was a documentary about basically his green policies and all that, that I went to see. And that day, for some reason, it got moved out. Like it completely vanished when I went there.
It's because it doesn't do any business and something else was. So they kick it out and they say, sorry for your loss.
Yeah. So I went in there and I was like, yeah, one for Inconvenient Truth 2, please. And they go, was that here today? And I go, yeah. And I even showed, where it was on the Fandango and all that. I'm like, yeah, see, it's right there. And he goes, it's not playing here today. We don't have it. We're sorry about that. So I didn't get angry. I didn't get bent out of shape or anything. I just go, oh, okay. Is there any chance that it's going to come back, anytime in the next week or two or something like that? And he goes, we don't know. We really don't know. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. And just as I was walking out the door, he goes, hey, we'll reimburse you though. Here's a free ticket, just come back whenever. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yep.
All right.
And that's how it should be because if you had flipped out, they'd have been like, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. And then you wouldn't have got shit. But because you're a good person, they gave it to you.
That's the thing. I'm more willing to help you when you're polite and stuff to me. Like if you genuinely have an issue, like if something happened and like to Jesse's point earlier, if we're like in the wrong, I'm going to do whatever I can to resolve it. Like if we genuinely fucked up, I want to make it right. Like I'm not a fucking jerk, but if we did something in the wrong or like we weren't maybe even in the wrong, but like it sucked for you and you're a total asshole, I'm a lot less likely that I'm going to like give you any freebies or help you out. Now, if it was like you were genuinely nice and polite and everything, like I'm going to fucking throw everything at you. Right. Like here's this and this. Like
I've given
really
free
sorry
tickets
for your
and
inconvenience.
Stuff.
Like,
I've given free tickets and stuff to people just for being like over the top good people.
Yeah,
like we
absolutely.
had a couple that used to come in all the time. They were both deaf. And they always had to get like our assisted living or our assisted listening devices and stuff with the subtitles and everything.
Yeah.
Only time those things ever got used was that couple. They always came in, were always super nice, whatever. One time they came in, our stuff was down and they were super nice about it. Like we gave them their tickets and everything. They came back the next time, were super nice again. I gave them another ticket the next time they came in. I was like, hey, you guys come here all the time. You're always the nicest people here.
Right.
Like, here's a free ticket on us for next time just because.
Yeah.
Because we had like taken out too many for a theater or something. We missed a couple people. I had them already logged. I was like, I'm just giving them out today.
Right.
That's just what's going to happen.
What is the things that they work? What is that? I've never heard of that before.
They work like two different ways. So one of them is if you're blind.
Yeah.
Which I've never had anybody use them for. But one of them is if you're blind and you have headphones. They kind of look like it's almost like a visor, kind of like they're glasses.
Yeah.
But they're like really stiff plastic. I don't know. They're not very comfortable. But they have headphones on the edge, and when you put them in, if you have the blind assisted device, then it describes anything that's not talking.
Oh, that's cool.
So like, if it was like the opening of The Dark Knight, it would be like, oh, they say he's the Joker, and then it would cut over, and it'd be like a clown shoots a harpoon out the window and glides down to the next building.
Yeah. It's kind of like what are we? The script,
pretty much.
Okay,
dude, that would be difficult though. Like in like a fast-paced movie, man. Like how that thing's got to be struggling to try and like.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
But then the other one is on the glasses. It actually I don't know if it projects or if they're like digital glasses or whatever, but you see like green subtitles no matter where you look. It's not just on the screen.
Nice.
And it reads off
That's for
all the
hearing
dialogue.
impaired
And that's for
ones.
hearing impaired. So you can watch
That's
the movie
dope.
and read the subtitles as it goes.
And that's something you guys like have on hand that someone can just ask for.
I think that we had 12 of them ready to go at any given time.
I always wondered about that because I always see that icon on like the time listings and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I'm always like, well, what do they do? Because I'm curious about that. So like if you're blind, I've seen that before, like the blind, option on there. I'm like, that's so strange. Like it has to be something that describes it to you because
Right.
like you're getting nothing out of this.
Anytime that there's not conversation going on, it's describing something. So if there's dead time, even if it's like a tense moment, like a marriage story type of thing where it'll be like both are looking at each other with great
Loving
disgust or
eyes.
something like that.
Yeah, we cut to like a warehouse where, a meeting's taking place. We see three men angry in leather jackets. And
The camera pans behind John McClane and we see guns taped to his back or something like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, could you imagine that in the monotone voice?
Dude.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
So you hear the dialogue from the movie. That part isn't in it.
Okay.
It's just the descriptions and stuff are like pegged in perfectly.
Yeah.
I got you.
Dude, that's intense. So it's got to be like somehow programmed to the movie.
It's synced up. That comes with the digital build. So it's built into it. It's just, you just never hear about it because it's not actually getting
Dude,
utilized.
that's so weird.
Here's my question. I am not doing this to be an asshole. Here's my question. If I took this to like a movie theater, do you think they would let me do that? Like if I
Like
just wanted to
use it?
try it once?
Yeah. They're available for everybody because, well, for one, they can't tell you that you're not hearing impaired.
Uh-huh.
And if you wanted to do the blind one, you could just say like, I just want to try it.
I want to
Makes
review
sense.
these options. I really
Yeah.
do.
You should do that for the Film Freak.
Yeah.
If you ask, they should let you have it because they have plenty.
I want to do this.
Are you well, so like the blind one.
It's all one piece.
So would you still be able to see? Would Chris be able to actually watch it?
Is it like this? Like,
I wonder.
No, I mean, they're glasses. So you still see through them.
Yeah.
But if Chris isn't blind, dumbass. So yes, he'll be able to see it. Well, if Chris puts them on, is he going to be blind? Is it going to blind him? Are they like blackout shades so he can't see? Does it make you blind? I'm not understanding the concept.
I can't breathe.
They don't have anything for the mentally impaired, Ryan. Unfortunately for you. God damn.
I was just asking because I was just curious because like I think it would be cool to review something like that
Is
because
it
a lot
like
of
the
people
guy from Star Trek? He
Yeah.
can't see shit.
Data.
a lot of people don't know about those options, so it would be cool to kind of see it from their perspective.
Oh my god, dude, that shit's funny as fuck. That's good to know though.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my customer service rant. I'm just over that. I'm over the whole customers always right shit. And
Yeah.
like, people just need to treat people better.
Especially this time
the
of the year.
customer.
Dude, it's just we fucking baby people, man. That's just the society we live in nowadays, and I feel like it's just worse because people just think that they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
It just drives me insane. It's just exhausting, especially like a year like this.
Mhm.
Like when people can't be understanding of restrictions and stuff that are in place because of COVID and stuff that you have no control over, and they still want to be fucking assholes about it. That shit just like I just can't, man. And maybe it's just because I've been doing it for too long.
Mhm.
Like maybe it's time to call it quits on customer facing work because I've literally been doing it since I was 15.
Mhm.
And like maybe I'm just over it. Like because it never used to bother me. And now I feel like more and more like I just get annoyed by it.
I don't think it's your problem. It's their problem. And I'll end with this: like too much power in the wrong hands. ... That's it.
Bro. For real. All right. Let's do we still got locker room. Let's hit up locker room talk.
Locker room.
Swung and lined to deep left field. It is gone!
Where's my lights, man?
Not bad.
45, 40, run, William, run! 20, 15.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the
Fucking
This
Jesse
is
over
locker
here.
room talk.
Where's my lights? Like the fucking shelf's got a headphones on and they can hear it.
I thought that it was going to be
Dumbass.
like sound effect. Like
Chris
working
isn't
out
blind,
for it.
dumbass.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a. He can
Stupid
see.
fuck.
You want to give me shit over here? The fucking shelves can't hear the fucking headphones.
I thought that you could sync it up. That was the whole fucking point.
This fucking episode.
I can't.
It's only on your goddamn phone. What's the point of it?
It's got to actually hear the noise.
Jesus.
This guy. Anyhow, what's up, Mr. Sports Illustrated?
Not
You got
a
any
whole
new
lot.
articles?
I do not have any new articles. I was actually talking with somebody about that the other day. Like, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
My
Well,
shit
after
is
that whole
just
fall
like,
through, right?
yeah, well, so that, yeah, there's not going to be any more Sports Illustrated articles until further notice. But
Yeah.
even my own personal stuff, like, I'm making decent cash on the side for it right now with it just sitting there. I'll update the stuff that I have, but it's like,
It's a lot going on.
it's a lot. Like, each one of those articles takes at least 8 hours, if not more. Like, that's the minimum. I've had some of them take weeks to get done. So
when you write, do you normally do like all of your research ahead of like at first and then write it, or do you kind of just do it all as you go?
I usually try to do it ahead of time, but then every once in a while, like, most of my stuff comes from arguments that I actually have.
Yeah.
Where then I go, you know what? This is something that comes up pretty often. I'm going to make a story or an article about this. That's how my whole writing got started, was because I was arguing about LeBron and Michael Jordan. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking make something that everybody can see.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. I could just post
copy
it.
and paste that shit.
But, yeah, so a lot of my stuff has been updated since then, but I have ideas in mind of things I'm going to do, but I just haven't. I'm going to wait till the end of the season, I think, and then start knocking some stuff out. Probably realistically not until summer, but might do something here early spring.
Oh,
yeah.
I say you do something in spring just to kind of get your, like, keep your motor running.
Yeah.
You know, because like it's kind of like that whole thing. Like, well, I'm taking a year off before I go to college, and it's like, oh, a year becomes 5 years, and
right. And I think I'm gonna do like I have some stuff in mind. Like I said, I want to start doing things that are like constant, continually keeping up with what's going on.
Yep.
Because that's the thing, is like, whenever NBA season comes back, like, my LeBron articles do better, and whenever you know the NFL season's going on, my Tom Brady versus whoever things do well. So I'm going to do a couple of running things where it's just going to be the best 10 whatever in the NFL. So
you can
wide
constantly
receivers,
update them.
quarterbacks, and it will always be up to date. So whoever is the star that year is going to be somebody that's going to be Googled, and that article is going to be found.
So it'll always be Lamar Jackson every year. and
it
you
will
just have to
never
change
be
2
Lamar
through 10.
Jackson.
best arm.
He did have another fucking shitty game though that boosted up his likes on the one article that
Did
I
it?
have. So it's great.
How do we know? He never fucking plays.
Well, so now he's got COVID, which will be another bad thing that I'll
Yeah.
add to his list of fuck ups.
Jeez.
He's a fucking bum. They're gonna miss the playoffs this year, and I love
They
it.
are.
They haven't missed it in a long time, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I
so-
don't think they've missed the playoffs, and
What's
don't know
going
how
on in
long.
sports? I kind of
At
just
least
threw
before Lamar.
that article question at you, but outside of that, what's really going on?
well, I guess since we're talking about Lamar, the Ravens are,
Shit in the bed.
man, everybody's got COVID. They have got 12 players and 8 coaches or staff members that currently have COVID. Could be more.
So 20 people in total have it
20
right
people
now?
in total in their organization have it. They were supposed to play on Thanksgiving with the Steelers. That was like the prime time game everybody wanted to see.
The one good game.
It was the one good game.
Dude, that was the only thing I was I mean, not the only I was looking forward to for Thanksgiving, but like
but that
I
was
was
the game to
really looking
watch.
forward to watching the Steelers game.
I'm a
on
Cowboy
Thanksgiving.
fan. That's the only game I was looking forward to.
I hate
Yeah.
both of them, and I really wanted to see both because I really wanted you guys to destroy them for playoff position. Now it's
Yeah.
looking like, I mean, we don't know if this game's going to happen. So
They moved it to Wednesday at this point, right?
it was originally moved to Sunday.
Yeah.
And then they were like, nope, not going to happen. We're going to move it to Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And then today they announced it's going to be played Wednesday. And it's still looking like there's been reports that Ravens players are going to strike and not want to play, which is going to be like a players association and NFL issue
Because of COVID concern, they don't want to play?
Yeah.
Or they don't want to get their asses beat.
I think it might be a little bit of both. But there's speculation that this game is not going to happen. And the biggest thing is the NFL desperately wants this to happen because if it doesn't, it's going to fuck everything. We're so late in the season. Right now, we are on pace to have a 17-week season, start the playoffs on time, start the Super Bowl on time. And if you cancel this game, they've already had to move, I believe, the Cowboys-Steelers game, Cowboys-Ravens game to
Monday night. Next Monday.
Yeah, they moved it a week out because it was supposed to be regular Sunday game, right? And then
And-
you guys got the Monday Night Football, and now they moved it out
And-
even further.
And they've made a Saturday triple header for next week, I think, where it's 3 random teams because they had to do all the shuffling. So if this game gets canceled, we're going to have to extend the season. So they don't want that to happen. The thing that I think is bullshit, which Chris and I have already talked about, you have the Ravens who clearly are not following protocol. There's no way that you get this many people if you're following protocol, but they're delaying and delaying and delaying and letting them have all of this help,
Which is bullshit.
which is fucking the Steelers. As much as I hate you guys, you got fucked on your bye week.
Yep.
You have had no time to rest. You've still overcome those odds and gone undefeated. Now you have the chance to beat your biggest rival. You should have an easy win because of their negligence.
Yep.
And you're getting fucked again. You're probably going to lose this week and have to play an extra week of the season.
Yep.
And then you've got teams like the Broncos, who, because their quarterbacks didn't have masks on, and those 3 caught it, which all tests came back negative today, by the way, so they got fucked for no reason. They had to put out Kendall Hinton, who was a undrafted quarterback who was then converted to wide receiver, who didn't get to practice with the team at all, was told the day before you are going to play, and was put in at quarterback. He completed 1 of 9 passes for like 7 yards with 2 interceptions. He was fucking awful. They got destroyed, and they were forced to play.
Did you see what they were trying to do, the Broncos, before that game started?
They wanted to have their coach play.
They want to have the QB coach come in or something.
Yep.
And I was like, is that legal? Like, can they seriously do that?
The NFL wouldn't allow them to do it.
Yeah,
I don't
it has
see
to
why
be like
not.
a rostered player, right? Like you
They
can't
could
just
have
have some
signed
random
him as a
person.
free agent,
Really?
Like,
but I don't see why they wouldn't let him
oh,
do
hey,
that.
Troy Aikman's our QB coach. Hey,
Well,
come on in.
somebody was maybe the Ravens or something, like one of the wide receivers said he wanted to come in and be the quarterback for the game or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the Broncos. I don't
they-
know. One of those teams. The wide receivers is like, look, I'll play quarterback. Like whatever.
Right,
Last
Broncos.
I looked, 10 of their 11 offensive starters were either had COVID or were close contact and would not be allowed to play.
See, that's
See,
your problem.
I think there's got to be something where if it's that extensive and like Jesse's point, like where they're clearly not following protocol, it should just be a forfeit.
Yeah.
It should be the other team's advantage. Look, I mean, I know COVID's serious and shit happens, but you got 20 personnel total between
Yeah,
players
you
and
only have
coaching
53
staff.
men on your roster.
Yeah, and you got 20 people that have got COVID. Like, come on. At that point, you're not doing something right. You're fucking up everything else having to shift around. Steelers already had stuff moved around because of another COVID
Yes.
thing. Like, that wasn't their fault. Like, at this point, fuck, the Ravens take the loss.
And as Jesse kind of elaborated toward, like, the other unfair thing for the Steelers is, so they play on Wednesday, okay, against the Ravens. We'll say this game happens.
Yeah.
Then they play again on Sunday.
Right.
Like by
bullshit.
Wednesday, you are almost finishing up with your game film for your next opponent,
Right,
for
but-
that Sunday opponent. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's definitely not fair to them. And then they're battling their own stuff that they've got. I mean, they've had minimal COVID cases, but they have some COVID cases. But regardless, like, they're going to be fucked on this one. I mean, the Ravens were a concern, rightfully so, like if they're healthy, but at this point,
Yeah.
they're just getting screwed.
You should either play the game or forfeit. That's the way I look at it. Like, you guys, we've moved this 3 different times for
Right.
you guys now. Like Wednesday or bust. Like,
Right.
that's your decision. You go out there and you play at 8:00 or whenever it's going to be played, or
Yeah.
you're taking the L.
You should have enough people on your team that you can play a game under a normal COVID situation. If people are out because of COVID, you should get like a one-time pass where, like, hey, we'll move your game, but then after that, you play with what you got, and if you don't have the team available, you forfeit.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you should be keeping your quarterback separated so that if one gets it, you've got a backup available. Like, you shouldn't be in a position where you cannot play.
And RG3 does not have it right now. They could put a team out there,
Right.
but when you get to this point, like, it just is what it is.
Right.
And they're doing it for money reasons because it's a huge rivalry game. That's
Yep.
the only reason the NFL won't cancel this, because nobody gives a shit if the Broncos get their asses beat by the Saints with fucking whatever his name is. What is his quarterback's
Lock?
name? Drew
Lock,
Lock. Or if it's Kendall Hinton, like whatever. But nobody wants to watch some scrubs from the backup team go. And the biggest thing is J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram were both not available to play because of COVID, and now they will be available to play on Wednesday. So you've now given them an upgrade of 2 of their starting running backs when you should have been facing Gus fucking Edwards.
Right.
And my thing is, those 2 players shouldn't be allowed to play.
I don't think that they should
I don't even
either.
care if they are negative. Like they shouldn't be. Like, you ruled them out already. They're ruled out. That's the end of the
100%.
story.
You should have to
100%.
follow the protocol of whatever it is, 2 weeks. If you test positive or you're close contact, like most places are recommending,
Yep.
that you quarantine for 2 weeks. They should be out.
Yeah.
And the Ravens haven't gotten any type of discipline for this. The Saints have gotten $500,000 and a
Yes.
7th round pick taken away from them. The Raiders got a huge fine.
Bro, the Steelers got those huge fines for not wearing masks, and they don't even got COVID positive people.
The Broncos had to fucking play. I mean,
Yep. The
that's
Broncos
their
were told,
punishment.
the Broncos didn't have a single quarterback. Not one quarterback could take the field.
Yeah.
And they said, well, sucks to suck. You've got to fucking go and play.
Yeah.
It's whack,
bullshit.
bro. It's
man.
whack.
So when this game happens, and I'm telling you this straight up right now, I hope the Steelers beat them by 40. I'm just throwing that out there. I hope they learn this fucking lesson that's coming.
Bro,
to them.
if we end up losing our undefeated season to them because of all this bullshit and us being exhausted and them getting it pushed back, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
Because look, healthy, both teams healthy. Okay, I'm a little concerned. The Ravens have some potential, but I didn't think we were gonna lose.
Right.
But now you're putting the Steelers in a bad position where they're 2 close games together. They've got a couple people that are out that weren't out if they played originally scheduled time. You've moved the game 3 times. Like, it just, I don't know, man.
It's just a very short week.
Yeah.
Well, and plus the Steelers, I mean, you guys are going on a difficult stretch.
Yeah.
Washington's not good. You're supposed to beat them, but they have a good enough defense.
Yeah.
And Antonio Gibson has been on fire.
Yeah.
But then after that, you've got the Bills.
Yeah.
So if you have to do a
Bills are gonna be
short week
tough.
against the Ravens and you do get hurt against Washington, or even you're just not up to it and a week isn't long enough to get into play,
Yep.
the Bills were able to challenge you before that, even at full health. Now you might lose your undefeated season because of that.
Yep.
And then you've got the Bengals, which is a easy win, but
Yeah.
then you've got the Colts after that, and then the Browns. You're coming up on the hardest part of your schedule,
Yep. And we're gonna get fucked.
and they're going to
because of
fuck
this
you
shit.
for the team that's not doing well to begin with and is not doing the right thing.
Yeah. If it was my team,
And I
I'd
fucking
be
hate
livid.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get my 15-0 showdown is what I'm not going to get, and I'm going to be fucking pissed.
I just, like I said, shit or get off the pot. Fucking play your game or fucking forfeit.
I mean, look at Cleveland. Cleveland was out. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. We lost our starting safety. We had our top 4 defenders out for that game, and they still said, hey, you got to go out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Which lets you know it's not just a playoff thing, which lets you know, like, so you could compare the Ravens and the Broncos fiasco to like, well, the Broncos don't have a chance at the playoffs. They're out of it. The Ravens are in the thick of things and all that. You can't really say that with the Cleveland argument.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, if you follow protocol, you should be able to man a team.
Yes.
Like, I mean, if you keep people separated, you've got 2 squads that are separated, that practice separate, that are available to play. So if this squad goes down, whether it's a couple people or all of them, you've got a backup squad able to play. There should be no reason that you're rearranging games multiple times. There just shouldn't. It's poor planning. And to Jesse's point, it's because they want this showdown to go down. So they're going to do whatever they can to get the team ready to play so that they can have the fucking big show off.
Yeah. And we knew what this was at the beginning of the season. It was made clear.
Yep.
These are your protocols. This is what's going to happen. These are the repercussions for if you do not follow these protocols.
Yep.
We've had multiple warnings from the examples of other teams.
Yes.
You have to either field a team or you're fucking forfeiting.
Yep.
Because we
That's
got
what
to
it should
keep
be.
this thing going.
And that it should be as simple as that. That should be it.
Yeah.
Field a team. If you can't field a team under any other circumstance, you would forfeit.
And how at the very least how have they not at least been fined?
Right.
Like at least a money fine by this point.
Many people out and you don't have a fine?
Yeah.
Well, and they're saying it's because they had their masks on, but there's no fucking way.
Why is there 20 fucking infected players?
There's
or
no
20
way.
personnel.
Yeah.
Right. There's no way that you're crossing over all of these different positional groups, positional coaches, and all of this other stuff. These people do not interact during the week. If you're a wide receiver, you might be with the quarterbacks for practice. Most of these practices are not happening anyways because of these COVID things. You are with your positional group. That's why the Broncos had sick quarterbacks, but nothing else. You're not getting every fucking person on your starting offensive line sick if you're following protocols.
But even to that point, if it's all quarterbacks are together, or like the Broncos, they had all their quarterbacks get sick, have them practice or something at different times so that they're not together, so you don't out your whole quarterback squad to COVID.
And another thing to your point is that all 20 of these positive cases, they didn't happen in the same day.
Nope.
They happened a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. That shows me a continued pattern.
Yeah, this has been going on since I think last Wednesday, and we still got a new positive case. Mark Andrews got deemed positive today.
So it's not a spare incident.
Right.
Okay.
We've been testing these people. We test them every fucking day.
There's a problem with the personnel and they need to be punished for it. That's the problem.
It's the Ravens, bro. They're getting fucking babied for some
Madden
reason.
curse
Fucking
already was
Lamar.
getting Lamar for his shitty play. The league has figured him
I
out.
forgot he was on that.
And he saw Pittsburgh on the schedule and went around licking doorknobs because he fucking sucks and he's scared.
Bro, I'm just salty, man. I just want to see them play.
I would be too.
I want to move on to the next week.
I would
not
be
have to
angry.
still be hanging on the Ravens game going on or not going on.
Yep.
Like at this point, is it definitive that it's Wednesday, or is there potential that it's going to get moved again?
There's potential for anything.
Yep, it could get moved for sure. Nothing is for sure yet. If they get another positive case, they have to figure out how they're going to travel. They were supposed to be leaving today, or maybe it was tomorrow, but they're supposed to be leaving soon for the game, and they have to determine whether or not they can safely do that. And if they cannot do that, this game's not happening.
Where are they playing at?
Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh.
And I don't think you can stretch it beyond Wednesday, because Thursday is when the next week's games start anyway. Like that's the start of the Thursday night football game.
Once you push it past Wednesday, at that point, it's got to cancel and be added to the end of the season.
Yeah.
You're going to have to. You can't make the Steelers play Thursday and then play Sunday.
Yeah.
Because normally if you are Thursday night game, you don't play Sunday. You don't play
Right,
until
no.
next week. So they can't.
Take that
So if
fucking
it,
L, man.
and even making them play Wednesday and Sunday, I still think is unfair.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Especially
can't get 3 days
more so
to
for the
heal.
Ravens. They're traveling. Like it sucks
Yeah.
for them.
No, you
but
can't get 3 days to heal in a high contact game. Like people think that these guys are just like crazy athletes and it doesn't really do much.
Bro.
They are all playing with injuries.
Oh yeah.
And just because you're injured doesn't mean you end up on that injury report. Like those injury reports are for real bad injuries. Like Jarvis Landry, he played games with broken ribs
Yeah.
and shit like that. And Drew Brees was playing with broken ribs for a while, but like every single one of those guys has like slight tears in their muscles, chipped bones, you know, all types of stuff. Like it takes a long time to recuperate. And even with that, they're still taking shots and stuff during the game.
There's somebody I followed on TikTok, and it's a wife of a NFL player.
Mhm.
And she posted a video like a couple weeks ago on Monday. And she's like, this is what a Monday looks like at our house. And this dude has got knee wraps on,
Yep.
ice pack, sitting on the couch. Like the day after at home, his Monday is recovery time.
And that's
man.
why you don't practice the day after a game.
Yeah. Like it's not like because they do it every Sunday that they're not sore or in pain the next day. Like these
Right.
dudes are getting their asses beat. You need more than 3 days.
And
to
that's why their
recover.
bodies are completely destroyed after their careers.
Yep.
Even, I mean, the fact that people even play like a Larry Fitzgerald who plays 15 years is insane.
dude.
I mean, Jerome Bettis walks around with a cane and the dude is like 40.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's a short span.
It is sad though. I mean, the amount of stuff that they go through, and they do get beat the fuck up.
And people talk about like, oh, well, they're millionaires, so it doesn't really matter. And like, I definitely agree with that
guilty
to a
as
point.
charged.
But like, it's just, I don't know. And then I think about guys who do have COVID and stuff that are doing the right thing, like Myles Garrett, who got sick,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know if he's showing symptoms. I haven't found anything about that. But like, what's he going to look like whenever he comes back in a week? Is he going to be out of shape because he's been breathing hard for 2 weeks and
Yeah.
shit? Like, what are the residual effects of that? And you have a team who's clearly not giving a fuck, who's putting guys' careers at risk because we don't know what the long-term effects are.
Yep.
Like Myles Garrett, who knows what he's going to be like after this? He'll probably be okay, but you just need one person.
Karma's a bitch, man.
Yep.
He didn't do anything wrong.
That helmet's coming back
Nah,
to get him.
That helmet was the karma motherfucker. But yeah, so I don't know. That's all I got for football, pretty much. I mean, the fucking Browns are 8-3.
Hey,
Totally forgot to mention that.
Yep.
You were so
8-3.
amped up over Lamar. You forgot about the Browns.
I know. First time since 1994. I was
Yeah.
a young lad. I don't remember it. Oh man, it just feels so good.
Yeah.
We got the Titans next. That's going to be a tough game.
They
Yeah, that's a
won.
very
They
tough
did
game.
win, but I mean, let's talk about that game. Bro.
Okay, so-
they're 1-8. They
Yeah.
played a 1-8,
Nine.
1-9
Now
team,
10.
So
and they barely
yeah.
won.
So here's my thing.
Barely won.
Here's my thing. One, it was the first time that our offense was getting out of like really bad weather situations. I don't think that they were really in sync. Two, Baker had a terrible throw in that end zone. He totally missed
Another one.
He totally missed Rashard Higgins. And I gave him shit for it because he had him about 2 seconds earlier than his throw when he should have thrown it, and he waited too long and it was still too high. It was high and behind. Bad throw. But then in the other breath, Baker made some incredible throws in that game. A lot of them on third down. That sideline throw to, I believe it was Jarvis Landry who
Yeah, that
caught
was a
it,
good throw.
was insane. The pass that he hit, what's his name? Harrison Bryant, that he ended up fumbling right afterwards, but that throw was really good, really, threaded the needle on it. He had a lot of good throws, more so than bad throws. It's just people remembered the one because it was a touchdown throw.
Yeah.
Stefanski made some errors. He should have kicked for the 3-pointer instead of going for it on 4th down. Go up by 11 points with like 7 minutes left in the game. That was stupid.
I said that in our group chat. I was like, you always take the points and you let them beat you. You tell them, find a way to beat me.
100%. That was stupid. That was bad coaching. The thing about Stefanski is I don't think he makes the same mistake again. He got emotional there. Not going to happen. As far as the defense goes, James Robinson is insane. I have him in fantasy. He's been insane all year. The dude does it against good teams, great teams, and bad teams. And that is who was keeping them in that game. He had like 127 yards or something like that, 2 touchdowns, or maybe it's just 1 touchdown. I don't remember. But our defense,
they played good. I mean,
our defense was really.
Glennon played his ass off.
For a 1-9 team, man, they played pretty decent.
They've played a couple teams good though. They played you guys good for a half also.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as bad as their record. I don't think they're good by any means. I think they're more on par with like a 4 or 5 win team.
Yeah.
They've had an awful schedule this year.
Yeah.
But even aside from that though, our defense was never great at all this year to begin with. We let up a lot of yards, we let up a lot of points, and we get turnovers, and that's how we win our games. We were out Miles, we were out Denzel Ward, we were out Ronnie Harrison, who's turned into our best safety, which was really sad because that was like his reunion back to the team. And I can't remember who our other guy was, but we haven't had Greedy all year. Sendejo made a couple of plays for the first time in his fucking life.
Landry looked good.
Landry looks insane.
Yeah.
He did all of that with his bruised ribs. He had like 10 catches or something crazy. Like Cordero Hodge looked good, who's like our third back, or our third receiver. He hasn't done much all year, but he's had 2 really good weeks back to back. Yeah, I don't know. I think our defense was really banged up, missing a lot of really key players.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what I attribute it to. I don't think that we'll look that bad against Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to be a real just ground and pound. You're going to see a lot from Chubb and a lot from Henry, and they're both going to want to prove themselves.
Do you think the Browns looked worse than normal, or do you think Jacksonville just played decent? I was concerned there for a little bit. I thought Jacksonville might have pulled it off.
I didn't think that we looked bad at all.
I don't think they looked bad.
No, I didn't think that we looked bad at all. I wasn't worried that they were going to win it at any point, but I didn't like that they kept it that close. But then on the other hand, if Baker hits that touchdown pass or if we kick that field goal, it's not close at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Those were 2 stupid things. The refs really tried to fuck us, which they should know better because Bottlegate happened against Jacksonville and will fuck you up.
I thought that was a first down.
It was definitely a first down.
Which one?
The kick one that we're talking about, like it set up the possible 11-point spread for the Browns.
Oh, where they brought out the
chains. Yeah. And it hits so like you can see it's right on par with where the black starts on that. And I'm like, that's a first down, dude.
It's like a touchdown. If it breaks the plane at all, it's a first down.
Yeah.
Once you go black, you don't go back.
Yeah, exactly.
To that credit. Yes.
They fucked that up big time. And then there was another play. What else did he fuck up? I don't like Jerome Boger is all that it is. The head, umpire or whatever, the head ref.
Umpire? This is football.
No, they're one of them is called an umpire. I just don't know if it's the head guy or not.
In football, they have umpires?
You have a line judge, you have an umpire. They all have different names.
Wow.
But
I didn't know that.
But the head guy, his name's Jerome Boger. I've been watching him for a long time. He's a fuck. He screwed us against the Cardinals way back when. I think it was like 2010, and I never forgot it because it was his first year. And he has that like high pitched voice, so I never like forgot him. But there's something about Jacksonville. You had Bottlegate in 2014.
Yep.
There was another like game where we should have won and we didn't, and they're just always weird. Like something bad always happens. It's like the Raiders for the Steelers. Like that is what Jacksonville is for us. They always make it difficult. There's always something weird. I don't know. It's in the past though. It's a win.
Yeah.
It was an ugly win. I think that you come back stronger. Chubb came back and looked incredible.
Chubby.
I think that Tennessee is going to be the game where it's going to be competitive and we're going to really, really see Chubb come out, because last year he should have had the rushing title. He had it in the bag, and Henry went off in the last game for like 200 and something yards and stole it from him by like 40 yards. So I think that he's going to be coming out trying to prove he's going to outrush him and show he's the better running back. And Henry's just going to be Henry. Like, I don't think that there's anything that we can do to stop him. I think if you hold him to 90 yards, you can pull off a win.
Yeah.
And that's really what you got to aim for, is 90 to 100 yards, which is insane to say about a running back, but that's
His
what you got to do.
Yeah.
He's a fucking freak. And I have him in fantasy, so it's going to break my heart to watch him tear it up.
Did you have anything exciting going on in football, Chris? Cowboys play?
Yeah. Well, they lost on Thanksgiving. They got humiliated by Washington.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I had Antonio Gibson in
I was
fantasy.
watching Clemson
Stomped, man.
Let's get worked.
It was like I think it was like the start of the third quarter. I'm like, yep, done with this.
There's always next year.
Yeah.
Tell me if you think that this was a good trade. I traded Antonio Gibson and a 7th round pick in a 6-man league. So that's actually closer to like a 4th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins for a late playoff push.
You gave up Gibson?
I gave up Gibson. My other running backs are Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and then I have Miles Sanders and Kenyon Drake.
I think on the season stretch overall, it's about even, because I think Gibson's better now.
Okay.
Because Hopkins the last 2 weeks, as somebody who's had him, his last 2 weeks have been very disappointing.
Yeah.
But I think honestly it'll iron out by the end again. I think Arizona's still making a playoff push.
Yep.
So I think they're going to need DeAndre down the stretch. But
And I also have Kyler.
Yeah,
so
double points. I like it.
Okay. Good.
I think
I
it's
wasn't
just
so
good
sure
enough.
about it as soon as I did it. I was like, oh, fuck, he went off for 35 points.
Right now, I think Gibson's a better player right now. But I think down the stretch, though, and those double points, man, you need those.
My receivers are not amazing. So
Mhm.
it's we'll see how it goes.
Cool. Lots in sports. We had one other quick thing. Do you want to talk about the female kicker?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever her name was.
I'd rather talk about Fargo, but yeah, we can talk about the female
You
kicker.
talk about Fargo? Whatever you want to talk about.
Sarah Fuller, kicker for who the fuck was she at? Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. First female player in general to play for a Power 5 football team. She was a kicker, went out. They didn't score, so she didn't get a chance to kick any field goals or extra points or anything, but she did do the halftime kickoff.
So she was rostered, but she didn't actually play.
She did at halftime.
Oh, did she play?
She had a kickoff. A bunch of people are giving her shit because her kick only went like 30 yards. But if you watch it, like the coach said it was a squib kick and he could have been covering for her. Maybe she's shanked it, but it looks like a fucking squib kick to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But come on, the chick is making fucking history either way. Like, she's obviously got some skill to be able to play at all. Why would they do it? Because people are like, oh, it's a fucking ploy. Nobody gives a fuck about Vanderbilt, whether or not they have a female kicker or not. They fucking suck. All right. And if it was really a ploy, it wouldn't be Vanderbilt doing it in the SEC. It'd be a team like fucking Auburn or some shit, or like, I don't know who's a team that's underperformed. Auburn just got their asses kicked. They're probably going to get knocked out of the 25. So they'd be the team that would do it. That would be like, oh, don't forget about us. We're still here.
Not that it's a ploy, but like, and I don't care. Like, I don't care if she played or didn't play or if she's in the team or not, but it is super random. Like, just all of a sudden they just got a female kicker. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure. I mean, and I
Have you ever
see
seen
that,
Necessary
but-
Roughness? It happens.
Yeah. Well, that's what everybody was hoping for, was some necessary. Everyone wanted some necessary roughness or unnecessary roughness to happen to her.
Hey.
People were tearing her up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, people were saying that she didn't cover the kick, and I'm like, there was no fucking return. The guy caught it on the ground. What the fuck is she gonna return? Like, people are just hating because they're hating.
Yeah.
And like, if she goes in for a game and you're about to get your first win or something, I don't know how many wins they got because it's fucking Vanderbilt. Nobody gives a
I
shit.
think
But
they're
like,
4-5 now. Or
okay,
something like
so if
that.
you're gonna go 500 and she misses the kick, or if you're doing really well against a Power 5, somehow you're playing good against Alabama and she misses the kick and loses, fine, rip her to shreds.
She's getting tore up at
But
that
like,
point. Yeah, I mean, but
she had one kickoff. You're not going to tear her up for a
Yeah.
fucking kickoff that wasn't returned, and they got it to the 30. Like, the coach said it was a designed play.
I give her credit for even the willingness to do it, because you know the pressure is going to be on you. You're the
Sure.
first and only to ever do it. You know everyone's watching. You know there's the fucking douchebag guys that are out there that are going to make comments about it. So like, I give her credit. I mean, that's a lot of pressure to be on you.
She's a big chick too, man. She looks like Sebastian Janikowski.
Yeah. It's probably the one that called me little.
That's a huge bitch.
It's the one that told me little man syndrome. I haven't seen her. I mean, I've seen like a picture, but I didn't know if she's
just
big
like,
or anything.
She'd look, like sometimes you see a chick and you're like, man, she's built like a linebacker.
Yeah.
She's built like a linebacker.
Like from Little Giants.
Yes, it's her. That's her, actually.
Becky O'Shea, the Icebox.
Dude, that's a great movie.
Yes, it is. Except they beat the Cowboys. That sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Um,
Speaking of college football, I would just like to say the Fighting Irish are 9-0 now after defeating the number 19 North Carolina Tar Heels, who averaged 523 yards of offense going into that game, and we held them to 226.
well, they're a basketball team.
They are not a basketball team, not anymore.
Duke is the same way. They
Rudy.
try to claim that they can
Duke
do
is
all the
definitely
sports,
a basketball
but
team.
They're all basketball teams. Other woman too, Callie Brownson, coach of the Browns, first female to ever coach a position during a game in the NFL. She's normally our chief of staff.
Interim. So she's not.
The head tight end coach was out because he had a child. He was with his wife. So she stepped in, but it was the first time that a woman has actually coached a positional group. The Cardinals have an assistant coach who assists to the main thing, but she was the first person to be the head coach of that position for her group. She's doing a lot of good stuff. She was first person to be a chief of staff, first person to do that. Like I could see her being an actual football coach one day. She has 2 gold medals for American football.
That's going to be interesting.
She's legit.
To see if how far that goes. Are women going to become head coaches in the NFL? That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. I'm
cool with it if they have the credentials.
I don't mind the position. I don't want to say even mind them being playing. I mean, I don't know. I have no issue with them being a coach.
If you have the skill, I don't care if you play. I just don't think that you physically can.
That's my thing. I don't know. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having divisions within sexes. Like not to say that they can't do it or they're not equal, but I don't think there's anything wrong with just wanting an all men league and having a women league.
Oh,
especially like a sport like football, man. I just think
we've talked about this before when it comes to gender and sport.
I asked the question over a year ago.
Yeah. And physically, you're just never going to have a woman. These are all top tier athletes. There's going to be a woman, yes, that can come out there and kick the shit out of us on our turkey bowl. And maybe even in a college, she could go to a place like Akron and perform. But when it comes to the Alabamas and the Ohio States, there's not going to be a woman who is going to run a 4.3, who is going to jump 10 feet high. I mean, you can look across the board at the Olympics. The fastest sprinters, there were guys in my high school who ran as fast as the fastest female sprinters in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And it's just not possible. Could you get a woman out there to go and be a punter in the NFL? Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a kicker. But then again, you're not going to get somebody who is like Janikowski or Pat McAfee kicking 64 yards when you need them. Right. There's never going to be a woman that kicks at 64 yards.
But do we only designate that their ability to one role, like a certain position, like a kicker? Like, are they going to ever not allow? But are you going to have a woman wide receiver?
No, because as soon as you have fucking Sean Taylor or Ed Reed come across the middle and smack her, she's just even if you get a really fast woman who plays receiver, she's still going to be running in that 4.6-ish range where she might be able to do some stuff in the slot if she runs good routes. But in order to be at that speed, she's going to weigh maybe $150.
Yeah.
$150 maybe.
And one hit, she's done.
And that's
you get catapulted into the stands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just not going to happen, man.
So I don't have any issue with it. Like the college level, like if a kicker, it's not a super physical position, for the coach is great. I mean, I think that's fantastic. I've always been hesitant about the mixing of that within physical sports. And it's not to say anything negative about the woman or women in general.
It's just genetics is all that it is.
And I just don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with having separation. I don't think everything needs to be mixed.
But then in the same breath, I would have no problem if there was a woman who was a head coach who really knew her X's and O's and was able to coach these guys up and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you get a woman out there that's as good as Belichick, by all means, throw her in the coaching pool. I have no problem with that.
Absolutely.
I just think it's so obvious with football because, it is that physical sport. It's the one where, it's built on the toughest athletes in the world. Yeah. Like if you had a woman play in a baseball league, I don't know if that's as dramatic.
That's true.
Like for me, a lot of these softball players, they can go too, man, and it's like, I understand it's a different game altogether, but I could believe a female playing in the Major League Baseball than I could an NFL
It's
position.
not physical. I think my hang up, and I think we answered it when you asked the question originally, is the physicality.
Yeah.
As a man, regardless if she signed up for it or not, as a man, if I'm fucking gonna be tackling this chick, I know, like, am I gonna be hesitant in how I tackle her, how hard I hit her?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Because
you're on the field.
because
He's kind of right.
No, I know, like, that's your thought, but
Mhm.
also, like, you think that because she's on the field. But, like, in the moment, like, I don't think that I would be able to do it, because you got to think, if you smack that girl down and injure her, I'm like,
Nope.
what the fuck, man? Like, why'd you
PR nightmare.
it's
I don't
gonna be
think
a
so.
disaster.
I don't think so, because
think
look
so?
at the reaction she got for that bad kick. If you do get a girl that goes out and she's, playing wide receiver or something, if you smack her and save a game, people are going to go, well, bitch, you knew what you signed up for. Because that's how people act.
Guys are going
But then
to,
as soon, no, because those women are going to be like, it's great that she's even there. Like, you guys shouldn't be giving her such a hard time, whatever.
I don't know.
But if you're the guy,
man.
if you do ease up and she jukes the shit out of you and scores that game-winning touchdown, that's going to be a million times worse than if you crack her shit and put her into the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, me as a player, I would hit her as hard as I could, but like, I know I'm probably going to risk my reputation doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it, man. I mean,
The thing that's going to get somebody in trouble will be when they do hit her and say, you don't fucking belong here, bitch, and the microphone gets them.
yikes.
That's whenever you're going to be getting fucked. It's not going to be because of the hit. It's going to be because somebody goes, yeah, thought you had some balls on you, or says
Yeah.
something shit talking.
Know your role.
And people aren't going to like that.
Well, I mean, if you use certain words in the NFL, the microphone magically disappears.
That's
This
right.
is true. All right, last thing, Tyson fight. You want to talk about that?
I didn't watch it.
No?
No,
You didn't watch any of it?
no, because I knew. So there was a rumor going into it that they weren't allowed to knock each other out.
Yeah.
And that they weren't going to have any judges there to call an official winner,
Yeah.
so that it was going to be no winner called.
Yep.
They had like celebrity boxing judges who
Snoop was one, right?
No, he was a commentator.
Okay.
But they did have judges that were going to call the fight, but it didn't allot to a win or a loss on their reputation.
Right.
But it was going to be, hey, we'll call it based on if it was a fight, who was the winner,
Right.
which ended up in a draw, which is a whole nother fucking bogus
Right.
bullshit. But Tyson said he was going to go out there and he was going to hit with bad intentions on every swing.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was going to get knocked out or cut. They were watching for it though. The ring guy was like checking to make sure.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to go in and see a Rocky versus fucking Ivan Drago fight by any means. It was
Right.
entertaining to watch. I am disappointed in the draw call because Tyson
clearly
definitely
won.
took it.
I heard that they
Um,
scored it like 69-29 in Tyson's favor.
Yeah,
and
I had
then-
it 6-2 as in terms of rounds.
Yeah.
I had Jones winning I know he won the 6th, and I think I had him winning the 4th, I think was the way it was.
Yeah.
And then Tyson won everything else.
he looked like Jones was on the defensive the whole time. It looked
Can't
like
be touched.
he was just looking like he was trying to do whatever he could to just not get hit. He
Yeah.
kept his distance. He was constantly moving, which I get. I don't want to get hit by Tyson.
Sure.
But as a boxer and in this match, like he was definitely like, it's like they offered him money to just do whatever you can to last. Just don't get knocked out or don't get hit. I was disappointed in him, whereas Tyson he had that fucking little hop about him. He
Right.
was
He
throwing
wanted to
punches,
fight.
like he wanted it.
Roy wanted to get a purse. Tyson actually wants to fight again.
Yeah.
And what's so surprising about that is in their recent last decade, Jones has stayed more active than Tyson has.
Yeah.
Like as far as fights go, as far as cardio goes,
Yeah.
Jones has always been working out constantly.
Jones had a fight 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He fought in 2018, whereas Tyson, it's been almost 15 years
Oh,
or something
God,
like
Long
that.
time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually seen a real Tyson fight.
Yeah. It was 2000. It was early. It was like 2005 it's been like 15 years
Yeah.
since the last Tyson fight happened. So that fight was kind of lame. I mean, it was slow paced. The commentary was pretty cool. The music was awful,
Mhm.
but the Logan fight was cool.
Yeah, the best punch all night was thrown by a YouTube star.
Bro. Well, he wants to be a professional boxer.
He actually
He-
does fight.
Yeah, he trains. He has had one fight under his belt professionally. But that fight was entertaining just to see because what's
I
the
just saw
dude's
the
name?
last Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson.
Former Knicks.
Should have worn
Dude
your
was-
kryptonites this time, you dumbass.
Bro, so just watching him, so like you could tell he's not a boxer and he doesn't really have
He
much
fights
training. He was
sometimes
like running,
Yeah.
like running at this dude. I'm like, you're gonna get knocked out.
I was waiting for it just to run right in, like right into his
Bro.
hand.
he's gonna be a meme just like Pacquiao was that one fight. Like he
Yeah.
went down so fucking hard.
bro.
I saw one that
3
was like the
times.
last words that he heard were like and subscribe, bitch.
Yes, bro. He got knocked out pretty much 3 times. The last one was literally just like a tree falling.
Yeah.
Arm straight. He
Done.
just
limp.
Out
toppled.
cold.
Nothing stopped
Limp.
him.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. Like, and he's gonna be a meme for a long time. Like the amount of things that people were making. That one I saw, the like share one was hilarious.
Simba, get up.
The Simba one, I saw someone else make a really bad one, and I was like, I got to remake this because this is so awful.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many good ones. There was one I saw where it was Tyson and Roy Jones, like where they're putting their arms up,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, "Fucking Nate still laying back there." They still had him like laying on the mat.
That'd been cool if they just left him like, like, all right, next fight,
Jeez.
let's go.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for me, so like, you know, I obviously didn't pay for it. I was watching
I didn't either.
through a stream. And so what I was watching was like, you know, it's a spectacle. That's what they try to make it as. And I can understand it to a certain degree. For me though, like I wouldn't have had 6 performances from Snoop Dogg for one thing. I thought that padded out the fight way too long. It was almost an hour between those last 2 fights. Should have just eaten a McRib. But yeah, so as far as the fight quality goes, like I felt Tyson looked great. Like he was still very quick, very sharp and all that. And he could have knocked out Jones if he really wanted to.
You could tell like he had it in him, like but he wouldn't have gotten paid if he knocked him out.
And I understand that. So like to me, like Tyson, the only thing for Tyson, it just all went uphill for him.
Yeah.
For Jones, he looked terrible. He did not look good at all. Like he had no technique to his hitting. And I felt like Tyson could have been out there fighting somebody better.
Yeah. And I think so, like after fight interview, obviously Jones was saying like, yeah, I mean, I'll fight again. I'll talk to my family and stuff. Like, I don't think he has much interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Tyson, I could see him wanting to come back and maybe have like another run, nothing too crazy, but like he obviously has interest in some sort of fighting. He's starting his league, his Legends Only League, which I thought was hilarious because he said it wrong. I'm like, the dude doesn't even know the fucking name of his own league.
Oh,
Calls
really?
it the Legend League Only. I'm like, bro, he like looked, and I'm like, and he still said it wrong. he said he got high before the fight, so maybe that was part of it.
That would explain it.
But it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was gonna watch. I didn't pay. I wouldn't have paid it. I watched it for free.
Yeah. I would have paid 20.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have paid 50.
The production was awful.
Mm-hmm.
The musical artists were awful. The setup was weird. I know with COVID you can't do much, but it just aesthetically wasn't very pleasing.
There's one thing I liked about their setup.
Yeah.
There was a railroad track around the ring that they used for like spanning shots.
Oh, that's cool.
Like all around. They rarely used it, but it looked good. It looked sharp when they did that.
So I did notice that, but I also had some negative feedback for whoever the camera guy was, because there was a lot of times where the fight was starting and they were way out here and you couldn't see the fight.
Yes.
Like the ref was in the way, or like the hole for the ring. And I'm like, bro, get in there, because if they throw that punch right now that knocks them out, you don't have the camera angle.
And they only had like 3 cameras in the whole place. So
'cause
like there wasn't a lot of array of angles and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was several times where like that angle was, and it was slowly moving into like the center of the ring. And I'm like, bro, you should be in, like the fight's going right now.
You're missing half the round.
Yeah.
It's only 2-minute rounds.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, it was entertaining for what we knew it was going to be.
Mhm.
It was an expedition fight. We knew it wasn't going to be anything crazy.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with it. It was entertaining to watch. It was cool to see Tyson back.
Yeah.
He looked great, man. He lost 100 pounds. Like, dude was in good shape.
Mhm.
I'd like to see him fight in a non-exhibition fight. Like, I'd like to see him fight someone. And I don't know if that's because of health things, like they're concerned because of their age.
Yes.
If that's why they do that. But it was cool. I mean, he's a legend. It was cool to see him box again.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Yeah, I mean, got enough from it. It was what it was. I didn't pay for it, so I got what I got.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I was worth the $0 that it cost me to watch the fight.
Yep.
So
Yep.
no complaints there. I think that's really it. Was there anything else we had?
No,
I mean, I know Jesse want to talk the fight. We want to talk the kicker.
pretty sure that's it.
So I think that's all we got for you guys for this week. I appreciate you all tuning in to the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, participate in the Venmo challenge if you'd like. Still going on. We're just going to continue to do it as long as, I don't know. We're just going to continue to do it. So anyhow, we'll catch you next week. And thanks for tuning in. That's all.